into reality.
It's a stretch pass from Wild Bill. Look at the position. Wild Bill.
You don't just need property services. You need problems handled. Hire Good provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses, creating
Stanley playoff goal.
Create stable losses.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream.
This is flipped the other way. It's a fair ball. And it gets fired. It's going to allow the Speedy Hunters to score. And here comes
Qualifying owners can lease a Nissan Rogue S for the equivalent of $99 weekly at 0% for 36 months, $430 monthly. Offer includes $1,100 Nissan bonus and 0.4% loyalty rate reduction. Conditions apply. Visit Nissan.ca for details.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
The puck is passed up through the neutral zone, and here's a breakaway. He's coming in hot. He shoots it. Oh, no, a broken stick.
When it comes to performance, quality parts matter. Napa Auto Parts has all the reliable parts, tools, and more to keep your vehicle running like a playoff contender. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how. Ready to upgrade your ride this spring? Come on down to the Golf Cart People. They're a family-owned and operated business that's been serving the community since '97. Whether you're looking for a brand new or quality pre-owned cart, a rental for a special event, they do that too. The Golf Cart People have a huge selection of parts and accessories, and their expert service team is here to keep you rolling. The Golf Cart People, your one-stop shop for everything golf cart. Visit golfcartpeople.com.
The Jason Gregor Show.
saved by Hudson. And scores. There it is. His first Stanley Cup playoff goal.
On Sports 1440.
Broken up by William Carlson. He springs him in. Mitch Marner, who's in, and he stops it home. Mitchell Marner. It's a stretch pass from Wild Bill.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
This is flipped the other way. And it's a fair ball. And it gets by Hernandez. It's going to allow the Speedy Hunters to score. And here comes Chiarello.
Well, a little extra brass bonanza for you here on the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely, positive Friday. The weekend is here. The long weekend is here. So even better, lots going on. As, of course, NHL, one game this weekend. That'll be tomorrow. Game 6 between the Montreal Canadiens and the Buffalo Sabres. Can the Sabres get us a Game 7? Come on! We haven't had a lot of Game 7s yet this series. In this playoffs, I should say. Obviously not this series, but in the playoffs. It would be nice to get some, don't you think? So, there you go. We do know that Colorado and Vegas will start on Wednesday, the 20th of May. Next Wednesday will be game one of the Western Conference Final. Avs are 8-1. Golden Knights are 8-4. And they are leading the league in dumb decisions so far during the playoffs. You know, holding your coach back, ex-coach from interviewing, kind of lame. Then you throw in the fact that their current coach, after you win a series, decides not to do what's his responsibility and talk to the media. Dumb, right? It's dumb. There's no reason to do it. So I would hope the NHL would grow a set. And, you know, I saw they're saying, well, they're mad that Braden McNabb got suspended. What? So what? Like, what a dumb decision, right? Absolutely dumb. Well, we didn't like the suspension, so we're not going to have our coach talk. We're going to act like petulant children. We didn't get our way. Like, awesome stuff. And hey, they're playing well. They last night to me looked like the team who was just a little bit more experienced, right? The Ducks were really never in that game. Mitch Marner scores again. How about Brett Howden? Another shorthanded goal. He's got 8 goals, first of all, in the postseason, and 3 of them are shorthanded. So good for him. The Ducks did make it 3-1 in the second, but Dorofeev scores twice. He's got 9 goals, man. That guy he's going to be making some cake on his next contract, no doubt about it. But not a great look for Vegas. I know they're going to say, well, they don't care, but whatever. I just don't see why you need to do it. Like, what didn't you like about the suspension? Now, here's the thing, though. If McNabb would have hit him from behind, probably wouldn't have got suspended because that's how the NHL rolls. Yeah, no. You hit the guy too hard straight on, you'll get suspended. You hit him from behind, not a big deal. We don't seem to care about that as much. So, anywho, PGA Championship continues on today, and Potgieter is leading at 5 under. Smalley is at 4 under. Matsuyama and a few others are at 3 under par. Canadian Corey Connor is down at where is he now? He had a tough day. Him and Nick Taylor now are both at +1, and they're both in a tie for 27th. They both dropped a fair amount of spots today, as Nick Taylor dropped 22 spots, Corey Connor dropped 29. So not an ideal day, but 6 strokes out's not terrible, but you're going to need to put together a hell of a Saturday to get in contention for Sunday. So we'll see. Scotty Scheffler, Cameron Young, Justin Thomas are all at 2 under. So lurking very close. Jason Day also at 2 under par. NBA playoffs tonight. We could see the Cavaliers. You think LeBron could go back to Cleveland again? I wonder. See what he does in the offseason. But Detroit will try to stave off elimination, need to win on the road. Meanwhile, the Timberwolves at home need a win to force a Game 7 against the Spurs. The Knicks and the Thunder are both waiting patiently to see who they will play in the Eastern and Western Conference Finals. We talked about it a lot yesterday, and the Oilers, their coaching search begins, and Bruce Cassidy, I think, is the leading candidate, no question in my mind. Peter Laviolette is another guy who's going to get interviewed. I would think Craig Berube could be on that list. I would guess the Oilers minimum 5 coaches, right? Like, I know there's lots to talk about Carl. Is Carl going to leave Denver? He's got a really good situation there. He might. Like, you're in a good situation, but you do have the opportunity to coach one of the best players in the National Hockey League. That opportunity doesn't come along very often. What if you're the head coach that helps put the Oilers over the top? I think you probably owe it to yourself to at least listen to and say, hey, I'll go through the interview process just to see. Because the other thing, and I outlined it yesterday, but whoever the new coach is of the Edmonton Oilers, you're coming in a good spot. You've got a good team. I don't even know who's on the roster in October. It doesn't matter. I know who the main core guys. McDavid's going nowhere. Draisaitl's going nowhere. Bouchard's going nowhere. Hyman's going nowhere. Right? Podkolzin's going nowhere. Go down the list. They got a good team. They're not a perfect team, but they got a pretty good team. They'll be rested. They'll be motivated. And they'll also be in the, we'd like to impress the new coach. Because do you remember? Now, maybe you don't, and that's understandable. But let's just go back, because this will be the fourth head coach who makes his debut for the Edmonton Oilers since, basically since 2019 of October, because Dave Tippett got hired in May of 2019. So they come out of the gate. Do you remember how the Oilers started under Dave Tippett? Well, I'll tell you. 7-1. 12-6-2 in their first 20 games. Had the 9th most points in the NHL that year. Fast forward to February 10th, 2022. Now Dave Tippett has been fired. Jay Woodcroft is promoted. Under Tippett that year, the Oilers were 23-18-3. Basically, had won 23 games, had lost 21. Average. Jay Woodcroft comes in. By the way, no changes to the lineup. Jay Woodcroft comes in, and the Oilers go 5-0 in their first 5 and 26-9-3 down the stretch. Second best record in the NHL. Second coach. I don't know if it's guilt or they're like, oh, we want to impress him, but you make no changes. Boom. They play well. Now you fast forward to Chris Knobloch. He was named head coach on November 12th, 2023. A year and a half after Woodcroft. And the Oilers, remember what their record was? 3-9-1. They're actually 2-9-1. And the decision to relieve Woodcroft of his duties had been made before that San Jose game. They won that game. 3-9-1. He gets fired. The Oilers go 10-3 in Knobloch's first 13 games and an NHL best 46-18-5. Knobloch on the bench. So, did they make massive changes to the personnel? They made some defensive system. But if you believe, the only way you could say it's a coach's fault is if you believe that when the coach took over, he was really smart and great. But as his tenure came on, he became less smart and made terrible decisions every time. Or maybe the team starts well and then slowly fades off. Because that's what's happened. So I'll say this again. Whether it's Cassidy, whether it's Laviolette, whether it's Carl, whether it's Berube, whether it's someone else, I don't think it matters to the start of the season for whoever the coach is, because the Oilers have enough talent. And where their talent decides to be focused, they'll be good. I don't even know what their schedule looks like, because we won't see that for another 6-7 weeks, I would think. But history combined with a team that will respect the regular season, a team that is hungry for a good start, a team that is rested, healthy. None of their players, as of today, May 15th, not one Edmonton Oilers player requires off-season surgery. So unless somebody gets hurt training, or one of Bouchard, Nurse, Ekholm, Szymanski, or Howard get nicked up at the World Championships, every one of these players should have a good summer of training. They'll come in mentally refreshed, physically refreshed, focused, ready to go. And there's always that last thing about, well, I wouldn't mind impressing the coach early on. So honestly, I don't think it matters. I don't think that this, so I just want to preface it early to get in front of it, because the Oilers are going to have a good start. And Pep are going to say, see, it was the coach. And I'm going to say, really? Maybe it's the players too, who are playing better. Just a thought. So I don't know, man. I did the digging on their last few coaches, and look how good they start right away. And it wasn't just a good start. It was continuous throughout the whole year. So, and this is the main core. If you look at the team, look at the roster on paper, the team that Dave Tippett started the season with in 2019 and 20. I can tell you right now that team was not as good on paper in talent that the team the Oilers will have next season. Guaranteed. I'm just going to tell you that right now. It wasn't. And now maybe you would argue the team that Knobloch took over, even then I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure I'm there yet to think that they're clearly not as good. So it's not going to be a talent factor that, well, geez, I don't think this team's very talented. I don't think they can do it. Because just for fun, let's go over Dave Tippett's opening night roster that year. Okay? For the Edmonton Oilers. Up front, well, you had the usuals. McDavid, Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins. Those are the only three forwards from Dave Tippett's debut. But now listen to the rest of the lineup. So Nuge, Draisaitl, McDavid. Then they had Mikhail Granlund, Gaetan Haas, Zach Kassian, Alex Chason, James Neal, Jujhar Khaira, Archibald, Cave, Nygaard. So Nygaard. Okay, rest in peace. Look at these guys. How many of them weren't really NHLers much long after that? On defense, you had Nurse, you had Klefbom, and Larson. Pretty solid. Chris Russell, Ethan Bear, Matt Benning, and, of course, Mike Smith started in goal. Don't tell me that this roster is not better than that roster. So, regardless of who's coaching, I fully expect the Edmonton Oilers to come out of the gate playing very well for lots of different reasons. And I'll be curious to see if, I won't be surprised at all if the Edmonton Oilers win the division next year. Yeah, they got more rest. But you had leaders admitting that maybe you got to take the regular season a tad more seriously than they have. You can't just believe that you'll flip a switch. I know I fell for it. I thought the Oilers, you know what? Oh, they're kind of starting to play well down the stretch. They'll get now. Injuries played a major factor, right? I couldn't predict McDavid and Dickinson were going to have fractures. So I get it. But Draisaitl, we knew that Draisaitl was coming in a little bit banged up. Henrique played what? 4 shifts before he got hurt. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Greg's, that's a great roster. It reminds me when Dennis King would tell everyone that Ethan Bear is a franchise defenseman and everyone except him across the hockey world was incorrect. Ethan Bear was someone that there was a lot of people who felt that he was a dominant defenseman and made lots of people around him better. Probably, and it's not Ethan's fault. I never blame the player when people would make overzealous reactions, evaluations of a player. It's no different than Connor Bedard for me. Right? Like, you think about Connor Bedard right now, really good player. I like Connor. I think Connor Bedard's going to have another he was playing great until he got injured this year. No doubt. But you look at Connor Bedard right now, and so he has his contract's over. He needs a new deal. So for fun today, you're going to get to play GM prognosticator. Connor Bedard, Leo Carlson. They both went first and second in their draft class in 2023. Bedard has played 219 NHL games, has 75 goals, and 203 points. Leo Carlson has played 201 games, has 61 goals, 141 points, and played in his first playoff game this past season. Had 4 goals, 11 points in 12 games. And if you look at it, now Carlson is a 2004, whereas Bedard's a 2005, right? Because they're about 6-7 months apart, December to July. Carlson's a little bit older, but same draft year because he's a late birthday. What do you think their contracts are going to look like? Bedard, Carlson. It is, to me, a fascinating question to look and wonder, what's the difference? And when I look at Leo Carlsson and I say, in the next 5 years, who do I think is going to be the better player? I don't think there's an obvious answer. But I'll say this about Carlsson. First year, 29 points. Second year, 45 points. Third year, 67 points. Pretty big improvement. Bigger body, bigger guys usually on average take a little bit longer to develop. Get comfortable. Cons, what's your guess? In the AAVs, who do you think gets more? And is there going to be a significant separation in their AAVs? Both of them could be some of the last players in the NHL to get 8-year contracts if they wanted it, or they might choose less. I'll be curious. So what do you think?
Just looking here, both these teams have cap space, right? There's not going to be a situation where you're dealing with that.
Yeah.
I was looking back. Slavkovsky got last season 8 years, $60 million. So just over, what is that, 7.5, just about. I'll put them a little bit higher with the cap going up. I think their agents put in a little work. If it's me, I would rather give Carlsson a little bit more just because of the body, the upside. I understand Bedard might be more the face of the franchise in Chicago, so it might go that route, but I think I'd be more comfortable playing Carlsson for what he can do. In that first series, Gregor, when he's, approaching the house, I'm thinking, watch out for this guy. He's extremely dangerous. So I think I'd rather give more money to Carlsson. Don't know if it plays out that way.
I'm very interested to see who gets more and by how much. Or maybe they get the same. Maybe they wait. Does one guy get it first? It is going to be a fascinating one. Coming up today on the show, Thomas Hall got some Jays taking on Detroit. Good news for the Jays. No screwball. He is out for the Tigers this weekend, so that's good news. We'll talk a little CFL with Justin Dunk. Craig Button will be by. We'll get his thoughts on the Oilers, thoughts on the remaining NHL playoffs, as well as the upcoming Memorial Cup, which teams he likes, some prospects to look for. Tonight in Prince Albert, the Raiders need a win to stave off elimination. They're trailing Everett 3-1. I don't know if you're watching last game or not, but Cons, they're fired up in PA. I mean, they're a small town. They love their hockey. They had 2 goals disallowed in a span of about 2 minutes. The first one, the referee's like over the net. You know how the referees will somehow get on the back of the net? He's looking for the puck, finally lost track of it, so he blew the whistle. And literally moments after he blows the whistle, like half a second, the puck squirts free, PA scores, and no one in the rink could hear the whistle because it's so loud, but still he had obviously blown his whistle, so they don't like it. They're pretty upset. 2 minutes later, they push a guy into the net. I thought that one was pretty easy. Clearly it was a no goal. 2 goals called back, and guess what happened? Which this has happened in any place, but 2 goals called back in a playoff game. Suddenly there was a few beer skis thrown on the ice. Not smart. Somewhat expected, but it is going to be rocking at the Hauser tonight in PA. We'll touch on that. We got Low Tide, Livingston, and much, much more on a busy Friday afternoon. The Gregor Show, always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website, where tonight, $20 million up for grabs in Lotto Max and 20 prizes of $100,000. So get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
New at Papa John's, the spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Say it with me now. Spinach Alfredo sauce, grilled chicken, fresh Roma tomatoes, all on our fresh, never frozen pizza dough. 4 favorites, 1 pizza. So let's run it back. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Right now, a large for just $18.99. delivery or carry it. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. Go Auto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world, live in Vancouver, with tickets, flights, and a hotel stay for two. To enter the contest, just text GAME to 780-777-7777. That's GAME to 780 all sevens. Go Auto, get in the game.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacing, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
Big guests, bigger takes. Jason Gregor brings the names you know and the stories you don't. Weekdays, 2 to 6 on Sports 1440. Don't miss a minute of the action on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
I'm good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. MortgagesToGo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say, good to go.
To the person who spends more time prepping than grilling. Hi, your Safeway PA announcer here. Our medium ground chuck burgers come in plain, cheddar, bacon, and our newest seasoning, all dressed. All you need to prepare is the grill, because your job is fire and our job is flavor. And right now, they're only $8.99 a pound. For this and more great summer deals, check our flyer at safeway.ca. Sale ends May 20th. Variety may vary by store.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Mortgages to Go. Need cash and have equity in your home? Mortgages to Go has you covered. When the bank says no, they say yes, and they've been doing it in Alberta for over 23 years. Call 1-888-888-5998 or visit mortgagestogo.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday continues on. How you doing? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you as we roll through Friday, the long weekend. Woo! Who isn't in a good mood for the long weekend? Come on. Hopefully you have some plans. Some of you diehards, I know there's some of you. You go camping on the May long weekend. Good for you. Not a choice I'm making. I've done it a few times. Rarely did it work out. Ended up being way too damn cold. And I'm a soft camper. I am much more of a fair weather camper. It doesn't have to be, ridiculously beautiful, but I don't want to sleep in a tent with a 2-cone. Kind of defeats the purpose. So good for you. Those of you that are going, I hope you have good weather. But I think I saw snow in the forecast for a bit. That's not a shock at a May long weekend in Alberta, but good luck. I'm curious, how many people are going camping? It can't be that many. Right? Some of you are diehards. Now, maybe you have a trailer, so that's glamping. I'm talking like old school camping with a tent, sleeping bag. How many? Where are you going? Let us know. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. As tomorrow night, for the first time this playoffs, Saturday night at the Bell Center in Montreal, hockey night in Canada, the only game on the docket, and the Montreal Canadiens have a chance to punch their ticket to the Eastern Conference Final. As we go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. 53 years now, and they've grown and become one of the most diversified electrical contractors in the province, actionelectrical.net. As we are joined by Eric Engels from Sportsnet, beat reporter for the Montreal Canadiens. And Eric, this is what the Habs wanted. They got that big road win. It's kind of been odd. The home team hasn't really had much advantage in this series thus far.
Yeah, that is funny. But I think the Canadiens are hoping that changes tomorrow.
Yesterday, Cole Caulfield got his first, this guy scored 40 even strength goals in the regular season. It was, so probably only a matter of time, but how big do you think that was for him and the team to see him score at even strength?
Yeah, I think just seeing him score a couple games in a row is key, right? Especially with the first Saturday night at the Bell Center and the first Saturday night of these playoffs for the Canadiens coming up with an opportunity to punch their ticket to the Eastern Conference Final. And Cole Caulfield scored 21 goals on Saturday nights this year, and they were 14-8-1 on Saturday nights this year. And, despite the fact that they're 2-3 at the Bell Center, and you mentioned the home team thing, they feel pretty good about the way they played there. If you go back to Game 6 against Tampa Bay, actually, if you go back to Game 4 against Tampa Bay, which they lost, they had a lead late in the second period. Game kind of shifted, momentum swing, and they had a chance to tie it in the third and just didn't get it done and went to Tampa and won Game 5 and then came back and played their best game of the playoffs in Game 6 and got goalied by Vasilevsky and lost 1-0 in overtime. I think it was not only the Canadiens' best game of the playoffs, it was the best game of these playoffs, period. If you didn't get to watch it, a 0-0 game all the way to overtime, goaltenders duel, crazy chances, amazing checking. It was honestly, Jason, it might have been the best NHL hockey game I've been to as a reporter in 18 years. It was unbelievable. And I think the Canadiens really like the way they played against the Sabres, despite splitting their home game so far in this series. They had a great chance to win Game 4, and a puck got shot off the stanchion and ended up in the back of the net, and they lost by 1 goal, and they went 1 for 7 on the power play, and they were 2 for 2 on the power play in Buffalo last night. So I think they just feel good about this whole situation. And just to wrap up the whole home point, Lindy Ruff talked last night about how the Sabres are 4-1 on the road, and if they won at the Bell Center, they'd treat Game 7 as a road game, meaning, if you read between the lines, they'll probably stay in a hotel if they make it to Game 7, like Tampa did, and ended up losing in Game 7. So the Canadiens are not doing that. They're embracing this opportunity if they have it home.
You look at the matchups. Obviously, home ice hasn't been a big deal for matchups, but the Suzuki line obviously is the one that Buffalo has to be the most concerned with. Although I'd argue the way Newhook's playing, maybe he is a close second. But what do you make of the Newhook coming out party here in the postseason for Montreal? And why do you think he's had so much success?
I think it's been a great story. I think Demidov last night, if you watched him play, it was another story. He was unbelievable. The thing about Newhook is, when he won the Stanley Cup with the Colorado Avalanche, their third-line center, he's a 21-year-old kid who didn't have any personalized development, right? He's on a Stanley Cup contender where he didn't have time to kind of hold his hand and see him through the process, didn't have time to make his mistakes and figure his way through the league. And then he gets traded to Montreal for a couple draft picks. And, at a time where the Canadians could afford to allow him to make his mistakes and afford to teach him and personalize his development. And it took him time to break through because he suffered a high ankle sprain 2 seasons ago that limited him to 55 games. And then this year, he got off to the best start to a season of his career at 12 points through the first 17 games, 6 goals, and suffered a displaced fracture of his ankle and missed 15 weeks in a row. Like, it was crazy for him to have to go through that, come back post-Olympics at breakneck speed. And I thought he played some pretty good hockey, but didn't really pop until Game 7 against Tampa, where he scored a huge goal that ended up being the winner. And since then, he's just been on fire. He's a great example of not judging someone too soon. He's only 25 years old. And I just gave you the entire context of his development. So, it's like I said, it's a great example of you got to let your prospects bake and teach them and develop them. And then you never know when they'll come through for you. You hope it'll be at the most important time. And that's exactly what Alex Newhook has done.
Eric Engels joins us. Eric, what do you think Buffalo is going to do in goal tomorrow night?
Well, they're going to go with Alex Lyon. I don't think that's going to be a debate for them. Luukkonen had the last 2 games. Lyon comes in the third. Slavkovsky beat him and hit the post. Demidov beat him with an unbelievable shot. He didn't face more than 2 others, I think, in that third period where the Sabres were pressing. And I just think, they've gone through this rotation through the entire season. They have no reason to doubt it now. Both goalies have been good. The issue is not in net, no matter how many goals the Canadians have poured in this series. It's that, the Sabres play high event, high risk hockey. And I think they're learning that doesn't work if you play against a team that can lock it down defensively the way the Canadians have, and the way some other teams that probably defend even a little better than the Canadians do at times have in these playoffs. It's, and that's a normal lesson to be learning at the developmental age the Sabres are at. Whether or not they've taken something from it immediately is up for debate, and we'll find out tomorrow night at the Bell Center and potentially at KeyBank Center if they're able to extend the series. But if they don't start defending better, and not just with desperation, but like with real structure, connected structure, I don't anticipate they're making it beyond tomorrow.
You look at the Canadian season, and obviously I think, now if they don't win the series, it's still a good year, but it won't be necessarily as successful. But when the season started, people would say, hey, they're 1 win away from going to the Eastern Conference Final. People are doing cartwheels. Now that they're here, though, have you noticed, have expectations changed around, or do most people say, hey, this is a really good season, we'd love it to continue, but regardless of what happens, this has been a very good step forward for the organization?
I think expectations are earned, right, Jay?
Yeah.
Of course they've risen because the Canadians have merited that. They've been full value with the way they played. And I think you look at the way they locked it down through the trade deadline up until the playoffs, and then had no choice but to lift that to another level and having to play a team like Tampa in the first round. It's made them into who they are and who we're seeing. And are they still early on their contention window? Absolutely. We're looking at a team that has an elite first line, one of the best first lines in hockey. That's undebatable going through the last 2 years and what they're able to do together. Suzuki is the elder statesman of it, and he's 26. Caulfield is 25, and Slavkovsky just turned 22 at the end of March. Demidov is playing with Jake Evans and Alex Newhook, and no matter what I just said about Newhook and how good his development has been, he's a middle 6 forward probably on a Stanley Cup winning team. They have guys like Hage and Jurovsky in the system that project to be top 6 forwards, and they could be dangling those players for more established top 6 forwards. I don't think Hage is going to go anywhere, but this is a situation where you look at the Montreal Canadiens and what they've done already, and the depth scoring they've gotten through these playoffs, and the defensive system they have, and the depth they have on the blue line, and the goaltenders that are behind that, Dobish obviously being unbelievable so far in these playoffs. And I don't think it's a reason. I can't think of a major reason to be betting against them to go beyond wherever they're headed next. So I just think it's an incredible turnaround within 4 years of starting a rebuild. It's an incredible turnaround 2 years out from the Canadians, Jeff Gordon and Marty St. Louis and Kent Hughes going, we just want to be in the mix. We just want to be in the mix. And here they are, like on this cusp of the Final Four. And they'd probably be considered the long shot of those 4 teams that would be remaining if they get past the Sabres. But I don't think anybody should be looking at them and saying, well, they can't win.
You look at their cap, and obviously the cap's going up. Lots of teams will have more cap space, but Lane Hudson's new contract kicks in next season at 8.8, but they lose Patrick Laine's $8.7 million. So it's basically a wash right there. And lots of their other key guys are all under contract. Kirby Doc needs a contract. Zach Bolduc, 2 RFAs, he needs a contract. And really that's about it. So where do you come out on Doc? And, he's currently making $3.36 million. What's his next deal look like?
Well, he's not going to break the bank with it.
Yeah.
You look at what's happened with him and talked about the injuries with Newhook. Kid blew out his ACL, MCL in one shot and then came back and lasted a couple months and blew out the ACL again in the same knee. This year, really, every time he gathered some real positive momentum and played like the Kirby Doc kind of that we're seeing in these playoffs, he breaks his ankle, he breaks a bone in his ankle, blocking a shot, doing the things you want him to do to be successful in this league, covering the details, and misses 8 to 10 weeks, and then comes back and suffers an upper body injury late in the season, and right as he's picked up momentum again, and then these playoffs, starts off on the rockiest foot, costing them game 2 in overtime, and Marty St. Louis is under the gun to kind of take him out of the lineup, and he comes back with him the next game, and he ends up winning the game for them. And the game 3 is just a great story. He's produced. He's been a momentum-turning kind of player in these playoffs, and yet because of everything that's happened with him since he's been in Montreal, not exactly standing on a strong case to get a significant raise that would price him out of the market as a restricted free agent. It's arbitration eligible. I don't think he'd want to take it there. I don't think the Canadians would want to take it there. I think, he's proving to be an important depth piece for them that, again, will probably end up on a pretty reasonable short-term contract where he can bet on himself, and they'll take the savings out of that situation.
One last one for you. Patrick Laine. Is he going to play hockey next year?
It's impossible to say without having spoken to him in so long. I think if I were to wager on it, considering how professional he's been given his situation, right? He was on long-term, he was on injured reserve. It was clear that he got healthy to the point where he probably could play, but remained on injured reserve. There was no space to activate him, and he was counting against the cap. He wasn't on long-term IR, and their roster was so crowded that they didn't need what he really could bring to it, which was goals. And those goals that he scored last year, I think 21 of them and 15 on the power play got them into the playoffs, but they were one of the top scoring teams in the league this year and didn't need that. And they had a bunch of players that were ahead of him in terms of the 5-on-5 play. But when you look at the way he's practiced and been a pro and not said anything about the situation, been a good teammate, I think he's tried to send a message out to the rest of the NHL that, hey, I've grown up a lot, and I want an opportunity to show that I can still be a valuable player in this league. And maybe he'd have to do it at a very minimal price, because he hasn't been given the opportunity to show that really in games. But I have to commend his professionalism, and I have to think that professionalism is a sign that he hasn't given up on his career.
Awesome. Erica, enjoyed Saturday night in Montreal. It should be electric. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for me to enjoy it, but I'll try.
There you go. That's Eric Engels joining us from Montreal. Habs Sabres tomorrow night. It's the only game of the weekend in the National Hockey League because all the other series are over. And this is our only hope for a 7-gamer. The Sabres need to win again on the road. They're 4-1 on the road so far in the postseason, and will need another road win tomorrow. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We got talking about slumps. Oof. There's a few guys. Hey, remember Cal Raleigh finally got his hit? Now he's listed on the 10-game IR. There's been lots of speculation. We'll talk about another superstar. Is he injured? or just in a funk of funks? We'll discuss it next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. It feels good to know your fund goes further at home. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions, take one for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Diamond Rides is one of Alberta's premier specialty charter companies. With our luxury motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation services. Our seatbelt equipped, top-of-the-line motor coaches have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel needs across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
New at Papa John's, the spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Say it with me now. Spinach Alfredo sauce, grilled chicken, fresh Roma tomatoes, all on our fresh, never frozen pizza dough. 4 favorites, 1 pizza. So let's run it back. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Right now, a large for just $18.99. Delivery or carry out. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
May brings more of what you're looking for at Wolf GMC Buick. The selection, never better. The savings up to $12,000 when you combine cash discounts on your new 2026 Sierra 1500 pickup. Up to $1,750 in cash rebates on remaining 2025 Terrain SUVs. Plus 0% financing up to 72 months on most models. And ask about the truck trade-in bonus of up to $1,500 on select new in-stock Sierra 1500s.
Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Novo Blinds is your home ice advantage for window coverings. Edmonton's own custom manufacturer with over 300 5-star reviews from homeowners, builders, and commercial contractors. Book a free in-home consultation at novoblinds.ca.
Millions and millions of Canadians do not have a doctor. We have a crisis. Canada's Medical Clinic is opening clinics across Canada to allow everyone to have a doctor to call their own. Early detection saves lives. We've got some great news. You can call now and book an appointment with your new doctor. Canada'sMedicalClinic.com. And more good news. Canada's Medical Clinic Windermere is also now a walk-in clinic. We'll see you there.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. It's the long weekend at OTR with Radioactive and the Bartels live on the OTR stage starting at 10, plus DJ food and drink specials, Jasper Ave 118th, or online at ontherocks.yeg.com.
This is Sport 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Well, the NHL, they didn't screw around. This just coming down. The Vegas Golden Knights. Honestly, I did not expect this. I thought there'd be a fine. John Tortorella's being fined $100,000 for not doing his requirement of speaking to the media after the game. They didn't open up their room. And Vegas is forfeiting a second-round draft pick. To me, this is a little bit of a combination of a few things here. They're just like, okay, Vegas, enough with the dumb actions here. So, like, a second-round pick, that's a pretty big pick, man. Like, that's no joke. So, good for the NHL. If you want teams to adhere to your rules and they don't, make the punishment severe. And guess what? No one else will do it. I love it. I have no issue with it. None. It was such a childish, immature decision. Simple. So, sign me up for some who like it. More of it, please. I've always said, if you crack down hard on things, look at headshots. Rafi Torres. Once you laid down the hammer, headshots reduce significantly. There's not many teams who do what Vegas did. But this will be one where enough's enough. We're a professional league. It's in the postseason, for God's sakes. Just won a series. And you're going to be like, nah, we didn't like that our player got suspended. Wah. Like, that's basically what they said, according to Friedman. Like, give me a break. So I do wonder a little bit if this is like, oh, yeah, and you're trying to now have Cassidy talk to other teams. Like, let's just stop with the childishness. Stop. So there you go. I like it. I think it's great. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Jason Gregor Show, always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Time now to get to the Jays Report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where their rates never change. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. Thomas Hall from Jays Nation joins us. And Thomas, we got to start with the obvious one here. Vladdy Guerrero is in a funk. 21 games without a home run. He's only got 2 extra base hits in that time. Now, he did have 3 walks last game, so that was good. But like, when I watch him, like, lots of his hits are just like, you know, little dribblers in the infield. It's not like he's having bad luck where he's just raking the ball and hammering it like right to a guy on line drives. Like, he's had a lot of what I call really easy outs for the defense.
He has, yeah. He's had a lot of worm burners for sure. And even the hard contact has gone down this month for Vladdy. He, on top of the mechanical adjustments that he's been working to make behind the scenes, he's gotten admittedly away from being the guy who, openly accepts passing the baton to the guys behind him in the lineup. He has, as we've seen from him numerous times in the past, Vladdy is struggling right now with having multiple guys out of the lineup, knowing that the offense is struggling and trying to be, the franchise player who drags this team out of the mud and gets them going. And the result that we've been seeing from that is Vladdy making very poor swing decisions. He, on the year so far, has the highest chase rate of his career, making, even in the zone, he's not swinging at pitches he can do damage on. And so, yeah, it was great to see on Wednesday the 3 walks from him, because that was, one of the first games where we sort of saw, that type of approach come back for Vladdy, where he wasn't afraid to pass the baton down to Kazuma Okamoto behind him in the lineup. He, was willing to take what the opposition was giving him. And, if that means getting your walks like we saw him do a lot in April, then so be it. Like, you can still make an impact for this offense in that type of way while you're struggling to make mechanical adjustments and get back to driving the ball to the power alleys and oftentimes those line drives resulting in home runs for Vladdy. It's something that he's constantly battling with, that pressure of being, the guy that everyone looks to in this lineup. But hopefully Wednesday is a performance that he can build off of moving forward here, especially as the Blue Jays start to face some tough pitchers, both against the Tigers coming up here and the Yankees as well next week.
So you look ahead, and I'm sure he's working on it a lot, but like, if this keeps extending, what are their options here? Like, do you move him down the lineup? What do you do?
Yeah, it's a really tricky situation because, especially too, the Blue Jays are missing so many key regulars on the position player side. I think John Schneider is a guy that trusts his quote unquote guys longer than, many would in that same position. So I don't think we're at the point now where, he's contemplating moving Vladdy down in the order, but we did see recently him try and give Vladdy a full day off, which as a guy who posts as often as Vladdy does, that it's always notable whenever he's not in the lineup. And maybe, that's something they could consider if these struggles continue and the poor swing decisions come back. Maybe it's giving him that sort of mental reset and, trying to give him more time to figure things out behind the scenes rather than trying to do it on the fly in games against really good pitching. But, at the same time too, like, Vladdy is the type of guy that maybe it only takes one swing or one home run and it clicks for him. And because there's that potential and because, when he's going right, he means so much to this offense, you really don't want to mess with, how often he's playing and where he's hitting in the lineup too much. Maybe you could drop him down to 4 or 5 and bump up Okamoto, who has quickly become the best hitter on this team so far to begin this season. But I don't think we're at the point where we're considering any drastic, significant changes with Vladdy just yet in that regard.
And he's not the only guy struggling. Like their offense right now, it's a pop gun offense. Like thankfully Okamoto has been providing some hits. Jimenez has hit, and not a lot of other guys. Now Varsho had that walk-off grand slam, and you just wonder how much that could do for him and really just the team. It looked like maybe they were going to lose their second straight and third straight against Tampa, but second straight in extra innings, and they come back with that big one. Like there's a lot of guys struggling at the plate. Any reason why it's not just one guy but multiple?
Yeah, I think, definitely you can include George Springer in that. And obviously he's a guy who's currently playing through a fractured big toe. So that certainly is playing a factor for sure. I think overall on top of the absences that the Blue Jays are facing, I think, there was expected to be a bit of negative regression with this team coming off last year because so many guys had career years. It was going to be really difficult to replicate that. But, Dalton Varsho is a guy that the Blue Jays were looking to for a lot of slug this year, and it just hasn't clicked just yet. Minus the pivotal swing he had to end Wednesday's game. He's a guy too that as a pending free agent, he's also leaving a lot of money on the table the longer these struggles go for him. But, he's somebody that needs to as well get back to driving the ball to all fields, but especially to the opposite field like he did in extra innings on Wednesday. John Schneider told us post-game that when you see swings like that from Varsho, that's kind of an indicator of his swing trending upwards. So, hopefully that's a sign of good things to come for him. But, I look to somebody like Jesus Sanchez as well, who the Blue Jays acquired via trade before the season and brought him in to try and supplement some of the power that they were missing from Anthony Santander, who, was a major question mark as to whether or not he's even going to play this year for the Blue Jays. And for Sanchez, he got off to a pretty decent start for the Blue Jays, not necessarily in the power department, but was hitting for a good amount of contact, getting on base. And we've seen that productivity decline considerably over the last number of weeks for Sanchez, and he still isn't delivering that type of thump that this team needs in the middle of the order. He's somebody that needs, I think, to get back to doing damage to the pull side. That's really one of his biggest strengths and one of the skill sets that the Blue Jays were betting on with that trade. It's great that they've gotten the production out of Andrés Jimenez and him being able to contribute the power that he has, having his first career multi-home run performance earlier this week. That's more of a bonus if you can get that type of production out of Jimenez. Like you have him on your team because of because he provides elite defense, right? Anything you get out of him beyond having him be a league average hitter is a huge boost. But it's one of those things where the Blue Jays need their best players to be their best players, and they're looking to George, they're looking to Vlad, they're looking to Varsho to carry the freight a little bit more and take that pressure off of Okamoto's shoulders. But it would certainly help if they get some healthy bodies back in the lineup too, which seems like it could be around the corner. Nathan Lucas is going to begin a rehab assignment on Monday. Sounds like we could see him back with the Blue Jays maybe by the end of next week. Addison Barger, hopefully not long after that, and Alejandro Kirk, hopefully soon after him too. But I think it all starts with Vladdy and Springer, and if those guys can start to get it going, maybe the Blue Jays will finally be able to take some pressure off of their pitching staff, which has far and away been their biggest strength to begin this season.
Yeah, it's not really close. Like Dylan Cease, I'll be honest, I knew a little bit about Cease, but just watching him every day, it's like, oh my goodness, he's been great. Now, Savage is going tonight. Is he on a pitch count still? Like, where do you think they're at? Is he still in the 80 to 90 range?
Yeah, I would say so. I don't think we're going to see the Blue Jays push him to upwards of 100 pitches, especially this early in the season. He's not even fully built up as a starter yet, and that's certainly by intention from the Blue Jays. They're really trying to be cautious with his early season workload coming off of last year, coming off of the shoulder issue that he had when he reported to camp back during the spring. I really think we're going to see them try and be very deliberate with his workload in the first half here and try and replicate the recipe they had last year that worked so well for them, where they preserved him over the course of the year to ensure he had gas left in the tank come September and October. And obviously the Blue Jays have to get to that point for that to even matter. But I think for Savage right now, they're thinking bigger picture. And so, if he can give them 5 innings at fewer than 100 pitches, they would take that and run. But we'll see. He still hasn't had one of those performances yet where he's had his best stuff, particularly with the fastball command. So certainly if he can be more efficient, that would certainly help him provide length while also, checking that box of managing his pitch count and workload too.
Thomas Hall joins us. What about the Hoffman, closer, middle reliever, closer? Where do you think they're at with that situation?
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty fluid moving forward here. It was interesting to see Hoffman get the 10th inning on Wednesday in a tie game, and for the Blue Jays to bring back his closer entrance too. That was certainly interesting to watch. But unfortunately, the outing didn't go well for Hoffman, but he still ended up with the win thanks to Varsho. I think with how well Louis Varland has settled into that, closer by committee / designated closer type of role that he has, I think they're probably going to stick with him in that 9th inning role for now. But I think bigger picture here as we look at the Blue Jays bullpen, the way the game has gone in this era, most teams have multiple guys who can pitch in safe situations and do it well. And, I think that's kind of where the Blue Jays are at with Varland, Tyler Rogers as well, and Hoffman. I think it'll dictate by situation, by who's available, who's not. But I think anytime that Louis Varland is available to pitch in a safe situation, that will be their guy until further notice. And the way he's begun this year, it's hard to argue against that notion.
Well, Thomas, quickly, obviously good news for the Jays. They don't have to face the ace of the Tigers, who's still rehabbing. But what do you look at the matchup this weekend for Toronto from, 3 pitching matchups as well as just, at the plate? How do you see them? How does this matchup potentially shape up?
Well, I think, there are a lot of parallels between what the Jays have endured so far this season and the, disappointing start to the year that the Tigers have also encountered this year. Between all the injuries that both these teams can relate to, the Tigers at least can say that their best offensive players have been leading the way for them, whereas the Blue Jays haven't been able to say that as much. But I think this is still an advantageous matchup for the Blue Jays to take advantage of. And certainly they've struggled in that department to take care of business against teams that are below 500 in the standings. But I think this is still an opportunity for them to try and make up some ground in the standings and get on to a little bit of a roll here. I mean, it's, outside of that opening weekend sweep of the A's, the Blue Jays really haven't been able to string together a lot of wins close together. And when you're not facing Tarek Skubal, you're facing a pieced together Tigers rotation. It's an opportunity for the Blue Jays to try and generate some momentum forward leading into next week's 4-game series against the Yankees. I think, obviously they're treating this day-to-day sort of thing, but I think when you zoom out and you look at the bigger picture, this is a series that the Blue Jays certainly need to win to help themselves in the standings, because if they, lose 2 of 3 and then, are limping into that series against the Yankees, it'll certainly make things a lot tougher on themselves to try and, even up that series against the Yankees, or even try and take 3 of 4, which, on the road is not always the easiest things to accomplish.
Awesome stuff, man. We appreciate it. Enjoy the weekend.
All right. Sounds good.
That's Justin Hall from Jays Nation. So we'll get to Sports 1440 update. Man, big announcement from the NHL today. No screwing around on Positive Friday. Enough's enough. The NHL dropped the hammer on the Vegas Golden Knights. Kind of like it. Let's get to the con man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by GoAuto.ca. Cars, trucks, SUVs, you name it, they got it all. And I do highly recommend the Honda Pilot. Driving one from Go Auto, and it is easily the most spacious interior SUV I've ever driven. If you're a tall guy or tall gal, you feel like sometimes headroom's a problem, test drive the Pilot. You won't be disappointed. It's GoAuto.ca.
The Sports 1440 update.
No games on tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So the NHL making some news as they have forfeited the Vegas Golden Knights a second-round draft pick and fined head coach John Tortorella $100,000 for failure to comply with media relations following Game 6 of their second-round series against the Anaheim Ducks. At the World Championship today, Canada victorious over Sweden. You also have Finland over Germany 3-1. Swiss knocks off the States 3-1, and Denmark falls to Czechia 4-1. Canada's action coming in tomorrow next, taking on Italy just after 6 a.m. In the association playoffs rolling on. Cavs and Pistons at 5 o'clock. Cleveland leading 3-2 then at 7:30. The Spurs can wrap up their series against the Timberwolves in Minnesota. Major League Baseball, Blue Jays taking on the Tigers at 4:40. We'll have that one for you in progress following the Jason Gregor Show on our AM feed. And at the Players Championship right now, Aldrich Polkater in a tie atop the leaderboard with Alex Smalley and Maverick McGill at 4 under par. You've got a group of players within a few strokes. As for Canadians in action, Taylor Penchant, Nick Taylor, Corey Connors, all 1 over. Should be playing over the weekend with a cut projected to be +4. And WHL final, Game 5 between PA and Everett at 7:30. Silvertips leading that series 3-1. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by our co-host, Wanye Gretz. We'll talk some CFL with Justin Dunk of 3downnation.com. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Well, the John's, the spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Say it with me now. Spinach Alfredo sauce, grilled chicken, fresh Roma tomatoes, all on our fresh, never frozen pizza dough. 4 favorites, 1 pizza. So let's run it back. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Right now, a large for just $18.99. Delivery or carry-out. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. Go Auto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world, live in Vancouver, with tickets, flights, and a hotel stay for two. To enter the contest, just text GAME to 780-777-7777. That's GAME to 780 all sevens. Go Auto, get in the game.
Edmonton's only 24-hour-a-day sports radio station can be heard anytime, anywhere. Sports 1440 is streaming on your phone, your tablet, your computer. Download an app today and listen to Sports 1440.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
What if you could hire motivated, safety-trained youth with no risk and funding to support you? At Careers the Next Generation, we make hiring easy with funded internships across Alberta in trades, IT, forestry, and more. Interns are WCB covered, complete high school accredited safety trained, and arrive ready to contribute from day one. With 42% of RAP students completing their apprenticeship by age 22, you get skilled workers faster. Spots are filling up. Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
It's the final weekend of the Brick's famous tent sale. Take up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and in store. And unadvertised in-store specials in every department. Plus, buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off select major appliances. And score a bonus Bluetooth party speaker with a qualifying purchase. You could get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and a dining set. All of this for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's tent sale. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Hey there, it's Brandon Douglas from Sports 1440. If you're tired of slow, unreliable internet connections like I am, check out Starlink. It's fast, reliable, even in bad weather, and even works for 4K streaming for movie nights, online gaming, and more. Growing up on the farm in the sticks of central Alberta, we tried everything to get reliable internet, but we're always left with buffering video and half-loaded websites. There's nothing worse than losing your connection while streaming the big game. I'm getting mine set up soon and can't wait. If you're ready for better internet, order online in 2 minutes at starlink.com/radio or call 1-800-GO-STARLINK.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
So Friday rolls through. How are you? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Sports 1440.ca, and a little bit of a bogey for Paul Geiker. So now a three-way tie at the top of the leaderboard at -4 with is it Geiter or Geeter? Connor Halley?
Now I'm seeing Gator.
Gator?
Pot Gator. Yeah.
And Smalley and Maverick McNeely. They are all at 4 under. And then there's a few players at 3 under and a boatload sitting at 2 under par. So if you're a big golf fan, it's almost anybody's turn. There's lots of guys. If you're within 4 strokes, there's about 24 golfers within, 3 strokes actually. So it'll be tight from -1 to -4. And some of the bigger names, Koepka, Schauffele, Cantley, Jason Day, they're all at 1 under. John Rahm is at 2 under. Scheffler's at 2 under. Justin Thomas, Cameron Young, at 2 under. So should be a good weekend of golf if you are a golf fan. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We welcome to the show from the Nation Network, Wanye Gretz. Wanye, how you doing?
Good. Never mind all that golf news. What happened to the Golden Knights?
Oh, the NHL decided that enough's enough with the tomfoolery or the shenanigans of the Vegas Golden Knights. Following, they basically had a flagrant violation of the playoffs media regulations, because how it works. So if your team wins after the game, you send 2 players to the podium, your coach goes to the podium, and you have at least 2 players open and the dressing room's open and they come in. If you're the losing team, your dressing room's open and your coach goes to the podium. That's the protocol, right? Doesn't change for anybody else. That's the protocol. Now, John Tortorella has been ignoring, not speaking to any media on non-game days during the playoffs. Stupid. We know what they're doing in Cassidy. So to me, I think this is a combination of things. I don't think it's just one on the media regulation. And so what happened, if you're just joining us, Tortorella got fined $100K, and the Golden Knights are going to forfeit a second-round pick in the upcoming draft. So when I say forfeit it, let's say there's supposed to be 32 picks in the second round. Now there's 31. So no one gets their pick. They don't trade it to anyone. It just basically evaporates.
That seems high. It seems like the 100,000.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. The 100,000 of the coach, I remember coach got fired $100,000 before cons. You can look it up, but we've seen it here. But a second round pick is pretty big. That's why I don't think this is just one decision. Maybe I'm wrong, but I wonder if this is okay. Tortorella's been doing his thing here, or we're cracking down here. Enough's enough. You're not granting Cassidy permission, which I still believe will be, and it wouldn't surprise me if it's already happened. It wouldn't surprise me at all. If Vegas woke up this morning and was like, hey, Bruce, here you go. You can go talk to Edmonton, LA, and Toronto. And away you go. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Little bit of gamesmanship by Vegas. I think at the end of the day, they're saying, hey, we're not going to make it easy. We'll delay it a little bit, and that's fine. Edmonton will have time to interview their other coaches, because he's not like he's the only coach that's going to get interviewed for the job. Laviolette is going to get interviewed. And I would think, there's a chance Craig Berube. The Carl one, I'm not sure. Now, if I was him and if they asked to interview me, I would do it just for the experience, because your first time interviewing, maybe you're nervous. How do you go through it? You can get better. No question about it. But Vegas, yes, they got their hand slapped for basically being childish.
I wonder, is that kind of what Tortorella is designed to do? Not lose second round picks, but oftentimes he seems like he's a designated distraction, especially in big games and big situations. Like, not that you would ever want somebody to come in and lose you a second round draft pick, but is that almost part of the John Tortorella program in the playoffs, is trying to be the designated distraction for the team and maybe take some pressure off the dressing room?
I don't know. I think they brought him in to win, right? And it's interesting because here in Edmonton, a lot of people are like, yeah, get rid of Knobloch. He's the problem. And you want to bring in Cassidy because he's great. Well, okay. But he got fired from his team. And since then, they've won 2 rounds of the playoffs, and they went 7-1 in the regular season. Is it always just a coach? No. Did Vegas suddenly have a terrible group of players? Oh, we got to get the coach. The coach leaves. The next day, all of a sudden, it's like, hey, okay, we'll play better, right? So
I can think of no coach, though, that has a worse relationship with a media scrum than Tortorella.
At times, John's, how do I say this? John can be very Jekyll and Hyde. Some days it's great. Next days he comes across like a total dick. And there's not much in between. I've had great interviews with John, usually one-on-one. Scrums kind of where it depends who's in there. But, John's a fiery guy. But in this case, there's even if you were mad that McNabb got suspended, who cares? You won the game. You won the series, right? There's hills to die on. for the right time. I'm not going to be that mad to say, oh yeah, well, we're going to get back at you because you suspended our guy a game that we didn't agree with. Like what? Then get him to appeal it. Although funny thing is about the appeal process in the NHL, in the playoffs, there's no time, right? Like other leagues, if you appeal it, you can keep playing until the appeal's heard. In the NHL, no, you appeal, but you'll keep sitting out until your appeal's heard. So on a one gamer, it's impossible to appeal it because you're not going to hear it.
Vegas isn't the center of so many storylines. It's impressive how they find a way to get so much stuff done.
Third time Tortorella's been fined.
Yeah, no, but I was talking about a coach like 100K.
100K, no.
No, not for Torts. But yeah, he's been fined. That's not new. But I know teams have been fined significant here recently. It's rare for a coach to get the 6-digit fine, but he, who knows? Maybe he doesn't care. Maybe he'll just be like, whatever. But that's still a fairly big chunk of change. And just because you have money doesn't mean you just want to give it away for something like you think about it, it's like, I just could have sat on the podium, talked for 5 to 8 minutes and saved myself $100,000. Right. And like, I know I can tell exactly Vegas. This is them telling themselves it's us against the world.
Yep.
Teams do it all the time. I'm like, no one was against you. The league suspended your player for a cheap hit. No one's against you. Like, it's a pretty dirty hit. What are you talking about here?
And you won the game. You raise a very valid point.
Yeah. Yeah, Gregor Cassidy got fired by nice, but he also won a cup his first year. I don't discount that. But did he suddenly become bad? The point is, too often in the NHL, the coach takes the bullets. The coach takes the blame. I outlined it earlier on the Edmonton Oilers. Look at their numbers. Their last coaches that they have fired. Look at how they've played when the new coach came in. Right? The Edmonton Oilers missed the playoffs in 2019. Then they got a new coach, right? Todd McClellan. Well, he had been fired during the 18-19 season. Then Ken Hitchcock came and finished the year. Didn't lead to any change. So now they fire their coach. They have the whole offseason. New coach comes in. The Oilers start 7-1. And they go 12-6-2 in their first 20 on a Tippett. Now, Dave Tippett's the same coach. He started in October of 2019. In February of 2022, not even 3 years, he gets fired. Jay Woodcroft starts. When Tippett was fired, the Oilers had won 23 games, lost 21 games. 2 games over 500. Woodcroft comes in. They win their first 5. They go 26-9-3. So 26-12. Second best record in the NHL. Then you fast forward 18 months. Chris Knobloch. Actually, a little bit more than 18 months. It'd be 20 months. And almost to the day, right? Because it was February 10th. Now we're talking November 12th, 2023. Woodcroft gets fired. Chris Knobloch comes in. The Oilers were 3-9-1 when Woody got fired. They go 10-3 in Knobloch's first 13 games. And they had the best record in that 69-game stretch, 46-18-5. Now, they didn't make any other trades. They just changed the coach. The same coach who had great success when he first started. So is there a pattern here? Maybe. Yes, there is. This team, they'll be on their best behavior. Whatever the new coach says, whether it's Cassidy, hell, it could be Wanye Gretz. It doesn't matter who the new coach is because they have talent on the team. The Oilers are not a talentless team. They got McDavid. They got Draisaitl. They got Bouchard. They got Hyman. Go down the list. They got a lot of talent. They're going to have a good start. They'll probably have a really good regular season because the players admit it. Well, geez, maybe we took it for granted last year. And they're going to be rested. And they're going to be motivated. And they're going to want to impress their new coach. So I'm not even sure it matters that much who the coach is to the start next year. So I just want to preface it. So I'm getting out in front of it because in October, after they have a good month, you see, it was Knobloch's fault. No, it wasn't. He might have played a small part of it, but the players themselves did not play consistently enough either. So it's never just one coach's fault is all I'm trying to say here. So like, look at Cassidy. Like, was Cassidy that bad of a coach? But all of a sudden he gets let go and now Vegas is doing great. They're 15-4-1 in his 20 games between the regular season and the playoffs. And Mark Stone's out. They're still playing well for the last few games anyway. So. Hey, Gregor, does Knobloch still get paid as per his contract, Terry? 1,000%, dude. Yes. Coaches' contracts in the National Hockey League. You sign, the contract hasn't even begun. That's what's wild. It begins on July 1st, 2026. And it goes until June 30th, 26th, June 30th of 29. 3 full years. Now, if he gets a new coaching job in the meantime, whatever let's say the Oilers are paying him $3 million. I think it was slightly under, but let's just say $3 million for a nice round number. His new coaching contract, if it's $3 million, the Oilers are completely off the books. But if his new coaching contract is $2 million, then the Oilers still have to pay him out whatever's the difference. So Cassidy has 1 year left on his deal, and it's rumored to be around $4.5 million. Now, maybe Edmonton signs him to a 3-4 year deal at, I don't care. Maybe it's the same money. He's won a cup. Maybe not. We'll see what it is. But even if it's 3.5 for the first year, he'll still get 4.5. Vegas will have to pay $1 million. Edmonton will pay 3.5.
These coaches are starting to make real money.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's no joke.
Yeah, not bad at all. Quick break. We will return. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Cantork has turned 25. That's right, 25 years of building tools so good, they practically torque themselves. Hard work and innovation equals problem solved. See our latest designs at Cantork.com.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Want sports talk on the go?
You can listen to 1440 on the AM dial or stream us on your mobile device through apps like Radio Player, iHeart, and Stingray Music.
Edmonton sports fans,
turn to Sports 1440.
1440.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All Star Construction is all about.
Your protein drink should work as hard as you do. That's why Booster Juice is hitting the gym harder than ever, brother. Meet your new gym buddies, the Way Too Good and Green Games Booster Mixers. 2 new ripped and refreshing menu options that bench some serious protein. Perfect for pre or post-workout. Way Too Good and Green Games Booster Mixers taste like motivation. So what are you waiting for? Let's go!
Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
When life unexpectedly changes, it can leave us feeling unbalanced, uncertain, and unsure of how to move forward. But you don't have to go through it alone. I'm Corey Anderson with Fairway Divorce Solutions. Our team helps reestablish balance, guiding you through your divorce with compassion, clarity, and support. Fairway has helped more than 6,500 families across Canada find a path towards a peaceful, fair resolution. With 2 offices in Edmonton, we're here to make your journey easier. Discover your options at Fairway Divorce.
So this hour brought to you by Emerald Equipment. Emerald Equipment is Edmonton's newest dealer for Yanmar compact equipment. Machines built tough for jobs that don't quit. Get your new Yanmar compact track loaders with ASV Posi Track at Emerald Equipment.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
I think one of the more underrated overhead shots in sports is you see it here from the thanks to the blimp over. Anytime you can see the golf course from up above, anyone, it doesn't matter, man. You pick a local course, the ranch or Glendale, anywhere. You have the opportunity to see it from. It just looks awesome. I don't know. I always like it. The overhead just give you you see how big of a landmass it is, number one, but you get a pretty good unique view of it. I've always felt that was a bit of an under. Sometimes like the blimp overhead of a stadium, it's okay, but the golf course I find is much better to look at. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. If you missed it, Vegas has forfeited their second round draft pick in the 2026 NHL. Wow, they're going to have to forfeit according to the NHL. And John Tortorella has been fined $100K for their violation of the Stanley Cup playoff media relations protocols. Tortorella didn't speak. They didn't open up the room. That's a strike two. Now, I don't know, and I can't say for certain, did the fact that Tortorella's been snubbing the media on days between games regularly throughout the playoffs, not giving Cassidy permission to talk for vacancies as a coach, did any of that play into it? Maybe, because the second round pick is pretty steep, man. Like, it's pretty steep. You can get a really good player there, and you just lose it for nothing. So, be smarter, Vegas. That's all I can say about that. Sounding a little bit like Forrest Gump right there. Nice. 329. Let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Ice Center. And trust me, you won't be silent. It's going to be loud. It's going to be rocking all the classics. Gene Simmons, the Gene Simmons Band, coming to the Silent Ice Center in November. Get your tickets, man. They're going fast. Now it's a smaller venue. Smaller venues are awesome. Anytime I've been to a concert in a smaller venue, I just find it more intimate. I think it's great. So get your tickets, silenticecenter.com. As we're going to talk a little football, 3downnation.com. Justin Dunk joins us as we near the end almost of week one of the first week of training camp. Justin, how you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on, Jason.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on. So here we are. It's early on. We do know there's some slight little rule changes this year outside of the 35-second shot clock. There's the double knee no longer is allowed. What'd you make of those kind of small little tweaks that they announced here earlier before training camp started?
Just that. I think they're tweaks, nothing major. I get that Stuart Johnson really wants to speed the game up. So as you alluded to, the kneel downs does make sense to me if the qualifiers are met. And the big one, I think, is no more ties. And there's been some debate from football people that I've talked to, I should say, about the no ties and how it's being decided. And some of them say, it doesn't really feel like football because it's a 2-point convert from the 3-yard line that could ultimately decide a game if one team gets it and the other team doesn't. But I do understand the teams in the league not wanting these games to go on for a while or not having ties. So I think that the competition committee came to that resolution, and it could always be tweaked in the future.
Okay. Yeah, and the thing about ties is I looked at it, like there's been like 2 in the last 5 years. It's not, to me, it's not a real big issue. And, lots of leagues have kind of gone away from it as much as they can. So away we go. It's super early. We are going to have our first preseason game coming up Monday, Calgary and Saskatchewan. And then all the other teams will get in action next weekend. It's obviously very early, but you look at all the offseason changes now and you see it for teams. We've seen the draft. Which teams do you think have improved the most, and which teams do you think might be on the way down?
You put me on the spot there, but I think you could look at the team that's in your backyard in Edmonton in terms of improving, and there are a growing consensus of people around the league that point to the Toronto Argonauts and think that they're going to have a rough time, not only because of their schedule, but just because of the way that the roster looks over there. Now, I will play devil's advocate and say, a lot of people were down on the Montreal Alouettes in 2023 and had them 9th in the power rankings and thought they couldn't do anything. But it seems like that's the consensus around the league right now, that the Argonauts are at the bottom if you did a power rankings. And I think the Edmonton Elks have done some great things, but ultimately need to go out and prove it on the field with all of these new talented players that they brought in through free agency, especially.
Where do you see the green and gold right now as a team? Like, you look, their coaching staff has more experience. Lots of their players, they got a lot of returning players on defense. They've revamped their offensive line. On paper, it looks like they should be a much better team. But I'm not going to ask you how much better they are, but I'm going to ask you, Powell or Fajardo, how many starts, assuming everybody's healthy, how many starts do you think Powell makes this year?
Ooh. I mean, Cody has been, Fajardo that is, fairly durable over his career. He had that hamstring issue in Montreal, which led to Davis Alexander taking his job. But I think he'll make, 15, 16, I would guess.
Okay. Where do you come out on Powell? How, do you think like he could push? Like if Fajardo is a little hesitant to want to throw balls into tight spaces, which I think has been a little bit of the knock on him, do you think Powell's ready to be a starter?
Based on the people, that I've talked to in Hamilton and how much Edmonton likes him, I do think he's ready for that opportunity again. And we got to remember that the last time we saw him, playing a decent amount of football games, that was a long time ago. Like, he essentially has not touched the field in 2 years. And Jason, this guy is all ball. I did a one-on-one interview with him in the offseason. You could find it at 3downnation.com. And literally, he just said his offseason was football, working out, and I think he's single, doesn't have any kids. Pretty sure he was living in like a cabin. You can ask him for specifics on that. And that was it. So this guy's all ball. So if there's ever going to be a quarterback that could be the next guy, I think Taylor Powell has a lot of those qualities. But as you know, you've seen this over so many years covering the CFL. Ultimately, you got to go out and do it. So it's a new offense for him with Jordan Maximic. He's got to get comfortable in there. But I do think that tandem, Cody Fajardo and Taylor Powell, gives Edmonton arguably, now there's going to be some differences here, but the best 1-2 punch at quarterback in the West Division. And I say arguably because I think that's changed very much with Winnipeg. Taylor Elgersma, I think, is an absolute rising potential star. But if you look at the rest of the West, that 1-2 punch is pretty good.
And where do you come out on the Bombers? Right? Like they made a lot of offseason moves here. Like it's funny. We were talking earlier about they're the organization's a great example of you don't want to fire your coach too quickly. You kept the coach and GM in place, and you know what? They missed the playoffs the first 2 years, and then they lost in the first round the next 2 years, and they lost in the second round the next year, and then they went on a 5-year run of making it to the Grey Cup. And a lot of people were calling for Mike O'Shea's head well before year 5, for sure. Where do you see them at right now? Is this just a case of that they got older? Do you think they've been able to retool enough on the fly here?
I think Winnipeg is a question mark, especially, again, when I talk to people around the Canadian Football League in terms of which way they could go. They did add some certified veteran talent there. Tim White in the receiving core is still explosive. Jarrell Broxton's going to help out that offensive line that hasn't been the same since Jermarcus Hardrick left. If Jake Seresnik can bounce back from injury, that can be a major addition. But I think, honestly, the biggest add for them was getting Taylor Elgersma under contract. Based on people I've talked to that have seen him in Winnipeg, they feel like he is, let's say, a head above the rest in terms of the competition for that backup quarterback job behind Zach Collaros, who has had trouble, staying healthy for full seasons and, needs a better touchdown to interception ratio. So they have that potential. And I know it's early, but I've been around enough of these people to kind of get a feel for it. And I really felt like Nathan Rourke had a chance to be a star. That's happened. I think Elgersma has a chance, but needs to go out and prove it. So I think that's a big one for Winnipeg. But a lot of people around the league will say, are they able to take a step forward, or are they going to kind of keep tumbling down this mountain that they used to be on in the West Division?
Justin Dunk joins us. We know that there's 2 games on TSN, and the rest of the preseason games are streamed live on CFL Plus. And last year, obviously, in the last few years, there's been all sorts of issues with that. I know they made a lot of rule changes, but at the end of the day, to me, the one big area where the CFL at times, like they need an app. I don't know if they have one yet, but their technical side is still a major issue. Are you confident that they will improve there?
Stuart Johnston seems to be, and we did an article on this, Jason. I don't know if you caught it, but for the second year in a row, the CFL draft tracker went down for the count and did not get back up.
Yeah.
I think it was around the 6th round this year. And Stuart Johnston said at Grey Cup that the past year when that happened, that was unacceptable. Well, it happened again, and you cannot be considered a major professional sports league and have your draft tracker go down 2 years in a row. 1 year, potentially, but that wouldn't happen with any other major professional sports league in North America. So until I see it, I will not believe it.
Yeah, well, that is, I'm kind of with you on that one. When you look at next year, when do you think the league is going to come out? And we know that the schedule's moved up, right? The Grey Cup's going to be earlier, which means the start of the season is going to be earlier. We got the goalposts and everything else that they're moving next year. I know there's concerns from lots of football people I've talked to that the draft is going to happen before the NFL draft, but I don't see any other way around it. Do you?
I don't really think that you can, but not only the draft, Jason, there are other ripple effects here. Let's say, okay, kids that are still in school on both sides of the border, finishing up their exams, perhaps to get their degree. Are they going to not take their exams to come to a professional training camp where they're not guaranteed a job? That'd be a stupid decision, right? So you're going to have issues here where, yes, if the CFL draft is before the NFL draft, let's say a high-profile Canadian gets selected, let's just say first overall, for example, but he's got exams to finish, well, he's not going to be on camp on time. And we had an article up, again, you can find it at 3downnation.com. JC Abbott, our guy out in BC, talked to Dwayne Viennu, the president with the Lions, and he admitted that he didn't pre-think of students still being in universities across the country in regards to housing for training camp, right? You know this well. There's a lot of teams around the Canadian Football League that have their training camps at universities and put all of those players, it's 100 when they start rookie camp, in the dorm rooms. And it's cheap housing. It's much cheaper than hotel rooms. So I think this is another case where Stuart Johnston and the league office are really pushing these changes forward. And I'm not saying we shouldn't evolve, but I think you should cross your T's and dot your I's before you make major changes. Talk to the people who it's going to affect most. As you said, the football people, the general managers, the head coaches, get their input and move forward in a cohesive way.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think that's a little bit of a concern. One last one, Ottawa or Toronto? Who has the best chance to improve significantly and why?
That's a very tough question because there's different questions there. Ottawa, I think, has improved overall as a football team. There's no doubt about that. The question mark for them comes at quarterback. Can Drew Brown have a season like he had in 2024 where he led the Red Blacks to the playoffs and looked like he was on the upswing? Or is he going to have a season like last year where he shuts it down early and some people question his toughness, perhaps not playing through injury like some of his teammates, let's say, think that he should. In Toronto, the major question mark is Chad Kelly, and can he get healthy again and back to the level? I shouldn't say get healthy. Can he get back to the MOP form that we saw him before that brutal leg break that he had? So I think as a football team, Ottawa has a better chance to be better. But if Chad Kelly is that guy that we saw in the past, the Argos can improve as well.
Justin, great stuff, buddy. We appreciate it. Enjoy the long weekend.
Yes, sir. You too. Thanks, Jason.
There you go. That's Justin Dunk from 3downnation.com. Lots of good football stuff on the internet. Probably second best CFL site after Elks Nation. .ca. So there you go. 3:41. We'll return. Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Rivalries run deep in Alberta football.
Edmonton all the way.
Calgary rules. But when it comes to the best snack for 3-down fun, there's no Battle of Alberta. It's a clear winner.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
The one thing every Alberta fan agrees on. So whether you're watching the game from your recliner or in the stands, make your game day.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. It feels good to know your fund goes further at home. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, healing doesn't have to feel heavy, because in our SwimX aquatic therapy pools, you literally float your way to recovery. Whether you're dealing with arthritis, back pain, joint injuries, post-surgical rehab, chronic pain, balance issues, mobility challenges, or just feeling a little creaky, warm water and gentle resistance have your back, your knees, and your hips. Trusted by pro sports teams and rehab hospitals, our SwimX pools help you move sooner, hurt less, and recover faster. So take the load off. Let the water do the work. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. No one's ever accused car shopping to be fun. I mean, think about it. Awkward standoffs to get a price. Let me go talk to my manager. Dealers asking for your credit card, then melting your phone if you say no. See, not fun. At Northgate, I promise you a different experience. We make it fun. And you will like us, I promise. 0% financing, a great selection of new and pre-owned units. So for some fun, stop in today. 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
From the first pitch to the final out, catch Toronto Blue Jays baseball games live right here. Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Sports 1440 is proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
for comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
From the local rinks to homes and businesses across the province, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel life affordably, reliably, and safely. We're members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, providing natural gas to keep our rural neighborhoods warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. To learn more about the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and our members, and how natural gas fuels your community, visit fedgas.com. Alberta's energy. Game on.
Shake off winter and roll into spring. It's time to turn the season with Jiffy Lube. Until May 31st, visit any participating Jiffy Lube for a Pennzoil full synthetic oil change, and you could win some incredible prizes, like the Grand Prize Spring Kit featuring 2 Yeti mugs, wiper blades with install, gift cards, and more. You could even roll away with one of Jiffy Lube's Keeping You Moving mini prizes. Turn the season with Jiffy Lube and win. Visit jiffylubeservice.ca today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Looking for a tasty lunch? Papa John's has you covered. Get a small 2-topping pizza for only $9.99 with code S999 at papajohns.ca. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.347. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Hanley, Sports 1440, Sports1440.ca. YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening to the show. Thanks for watching the show. We got a lot of text flying in. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Guys, Torres left because of the airport curfew, so they'll get the pick back from Brian Fan. Well, that's not actually true, Brian. There was a reporter out of Vegas who said there are two airports that could have flown out. One does have a curfew, the other one doesn't. And although the other one does, but if you ask for an exception in advance, they will allow you to fly out late. And he produced the paperwork that said they had asked for it. So they knew that there was a chance, because if the game goes into overtime, that's why you asked for it. So I don't think that's going to stand up, considering a reporter already found that they had asked for that in advance. So they might appeal it, but I think it's going to be interesting to see if they actually win the appeal. Now, it wouldn't be the first time a team has been told they have to forfeit a pick, but then they don't forfeit. However, usually that's happened many years in advance. The draft is in 6 weeks. So yeah, I don't know if they'll be doing it. We'll see. Especially if you read the press release from the National Hockey League that this was due to multiple. Right, this imposition of these penalties comes after previous warnings were issued to the club regarding their compliance with the media regulations and other associated policies. Hello, Bruce Cassidy. Yes, this is not, that's what I said. There's no chance this is a one-time thing. No, this is accumulation. Did I say that right?
Accumulation?
Accumulation. Yeah, I don't think I pronounced it right. Accumulation of multiple discretions in a row. So, hey, Gregor, didn't Ottawa weasel out of it? Well, yes, but that was because the new owner who owned the team was like, this has nothing to do with me. It was the previous owner. And a lot of people actually argued that that was valid because the previous owner had done a lot of shady things. He's like, hey, I purchased the team. Now, some would say when you buy a company, you inherit its debts.
That they say so, yes.
But the NHL did side with Ottawa on that one. And it was a new owner who'd come in and done a lot of good things for them. Vegas, like, what are they going to appeal on? Well, we didn't like it that you suspended our player. Like, what? So I don't really know how they'd be able to stand on it. So
and you won the game.
Yeah, that's the part about
you won.
Yeah, it was a very odd timing to be that perturbed, to be like, yeah, we're going to send a strong message. I don't think you did. I don't think you sent a very strong message. So let's get to the 2-minute warning now with Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. Now, Cam Tate, of course, longtime journalist in town, 45 years for the Tate Meister. And he's never let him slow him down. Born with cerebral palsy, being in a wheelchair. And he's always wanted to be on radio. And the 2-minute warning, due to technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning. And on Fridays, he gives me the honor, some days, of reading his 2-minute warning. So it's my voice and Tater's words. Here we go. Nevada has always been a land of indulgence, where rules are more of a suggestion than a mandate. But the Las Vegas Golden Knights, they've turned that into an art form, stomping through the NHL with the grace of a bull in a china shop and the arrogance of a king without a crown. Their latest antics, proof that this franchise believes it's untouchable. Today, the NHL dropped the hammer on John Tortorella, $100,000 fine, and the loss of a second-round pick for the organization. Why? Because after eliminating the Ducks in Game 6, Tortorella decided he was above the league's most basic rule, media access. Sorry, not today, folks, he said, slamming the door in reporters' faces. The NHL response was swift and severe. But let's not kid ourselves. This wasn't just about Tortorella. This was a warning shot aimed squarely at the Golden Knights, a team that has made defiance its brand. And then there's Braden McNabb, suspended for Game 6 after a vicious interference hit that sent Anaheim's Ryan Poehling headfirst into the glass. Poehling is now nursing an upper body injury, aka concussion, while Vegas cries foul over McNabb's suspension. Oh, poor babies. The Golden Knights' message is clear. They think they're above the rules, above the league, above accountability. It's entitlement at its most grotesque. But wait, there's more. Earlier this week, Vegas made headlines for refusing to allow the Oilers and the Kings to speak with Bruce Cassidy about coaching vacancies. A petty, vindictive move that reeks of insecurity and arrogance. The Golden Knights just don't break the rules. They revel in it, daring anyone to stop. This is a franchise that has become a stain on the NHL's reputation. Their arrogance is corrosive, their antics disgraceful. The league must act decisively because if Vegas is allowed to continue this charade, they won't just tarnish their own name, they'll drag the entire NHL down with them. And let's not forget, what happens in Vegas may stay in Vegas, but their arrogance, that's spilling over into every corner of the hockey world, leaving a trail of shame in its wake. It's the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate. And that's why I think this is such a strong punishment for Vegas to say, okay, we've given you some warnings. You keep doing it, there's going to be some consequence. Like, I'll be honest, like, I thought there was going to be a significant fine. Like, I thought, you know what, they'll probably get fined $250,000. I didn't think they'd ever get, losing their second-round draft pick. That's a pretty significant penalty. Now, as many texters have said, Gregor, I'll believe it when I see it. The NHL has rescinded fines like this and punishment before. Very true. Very true. Hey, Gregor, do you think the Oilers could get that second round back from the joke when they lost it due to the coaching fiasco? Oh, you're talking about the when they gave up. Was it a second for McClellan and a third for Chiarelli or vice versa? I can't remember. But either way, it was wild. Right? It was wild. That I don't think that. No, the one was for McClellan. Yes. And Chiarelli, yeah, I think they had to give up 2. I'd have to go back. I think it was a second and a third.
Was it a trade or they just lost?
No. The Oilers, that's when Chiarelli had been fired. McClellan had been fired. The Oilers hired them. And back then, the NHL had come up with this, which makes no sense, and I know some people say, well, you should get something for your asset. No, you've deemed your asset worthless because you fired him. You didn't think he was good enough to coach your team. You didn't think he was the right GM for your team. I know they're under contract because you signed him to the contract. So sign him to a shorter contract so you don't have to honor it. But that's, in the history of NHL rules, I can't think of a dumber rule. Hey, guess what? So we're going to fire a guy. And if somebody else wants to hire him, we get a draft pick and they pay him. Genius. Teams are like, wow, should we fire this guy? I know someone else probably going to hire him. Let's get a second round pick. We like another coach. Okay. Because that's essentially how it worked out. That was, in the history books, one of the oddest rules ever for the National Hockey League. Not even close. Hey, guys, can the Oilers offer Cassidy the head coaching job at considerably less money so Vegas has to pay the difference from Nate and Mandy? Well, on a 1-year deal, sure. But Bruce Cassidy isn't going to agree because you can't say, hey, his first year of his contract is $2 million, but then year 2, 3, and 4, it's $4.5 million. It's not how it works. So his contract is going to be, hey, it's a 3-year deal, and it's like there's an AAV on it. Even though there's no cap on it, that's usually how it is.
No escalator?
Not sometimes, but not very much in coaches, because you don't want to have an escalator as a coach because you're like, well, I get paid $2 million. What if I get fired halfway through? Now I know I'm still getting paid, but usually no, they want their money. And I think the reports were $4.5 million for Cassie. So now, could Edmonton say, hey, we're going to sign him to a 3-year deal at 3.5? They could, because he'd still get 4.5 his first year. Vegas would just have to add $1 million to the 3.5 that Edmonton's paying, right? So that's how it works. Now, could there be a real shady deal where Edmonton just signs to a 1-year deal at $1 million? In theory, I guess they could. Coaches usually don't sign 1-year deals because there's not a lot of security, even with, hey, Knobloch has a 3-year extension that hasn't even kicked in and he's already been fired. So, yeah, I don't see a way to do it. I'm sure they'll probably come close to what he was making in Vegas, I would think. Now, because he hadn't won a cup when he got the job in Vegas. He had been to a final once. He'd made the playoffs every year in Boston, but he never won a cup. And he got that high. Now he's won a cup. So I'm sure he'll say, hey, wait a second. Before I was a cup winner, I got this contract. I think I deserve similar now. We'll see. It all depends on what you're willing to spend. But keep in mind, the Edmonton Oilers are paying Knobloch for the next 3 years, unless he gets a new coaching job.
Will he?
in the future, yeah, like there's not many head coaches that go to back-to-back Stanley Cup finals, right? And if you look at, I think sometimes people, if you only look at the bad year of Knobloch, that's not fair analysis. It's like a player. Well, hey, I'm only going to sign him because he scored 22 goals once. Yeah, but the previous 2 years he scored 35. Well, it doesn't matter. It does matter. Now, in arbitration, funny enough, not as much, because the most recent year does matter more in arbitration. But the second year, talking to lots of AGMs that have gone through it, the second year definitely still helps. So, like Chris Knobloch. Hey, so what happened your first year as a coach? Well, I made it game 7 in the Stanley Cup final. Then he made it to game 6. Like, trust me, I think he would get a head coaching job quicker than Jay Woodcroft has. That's just my gut. And the other thing is, the NHL has had kind of a slower, because we know like 2 years ago, there's like 14 coaching changes. And if you look at the average, that means next season, I don't know if Knobloch, would he get interviewed for Toronto? I don't see why they wouldn't. They might, Ken Holland had him in Edmonton. He could interview in LA. Whether or not he wants to jump right back in. Now, I would say he does for 2 reasons. He's young and he'd have all summer to move his family. Right? Like there's an advantage of doing it now, or do you take a job mid-season where now you're going to move away from your family? And that's what happened when he took the job the first year in Edmonton, right? His family, because of his kids in school at the time, they stayed in Hartford, and they would meet up a few times over the next 6 months until their schooling was over. And now they reside here, right? His son came in, he went to Strathcona, was actually going to talk to Chris because I talked football with him few times, and his son was going to go play with the Huskies. Unfortunately, got injured, and now he's out for the year. Tore up his knee. But I do think that Chris Knobloch will be a head coach, I'll say within 2 years.
Where would you see him?
Oh, well, it all depends. There's so many. It depends who the vacancy
in 2 years.
Yeah, there's so much can happen between now and then.
That's true.
Yeah, can't say it at all. So we'll see. Quick break. When we come back, Craig Button will join us. We got some stats of the day and more. But first, let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Hire Good. For professional property services that you can feel good about, get Hire Good. Site cleanup, debris removal, seasonal maintenance, and more. Stable jobs create stable lives. HireGood.ca.
The Sports 1440 update.
The NHL announced today that as a result of flagrant violations in the Stanley Cup media regulations following Game 6 of the second round series against the Ducks, the Vegas Golden Knights will forfeit a second-round pick in the 2026 NHL draft. In addition, head coach John Tortorella has been fined $100,000. Earlier today at the World Championships, Canada knocked off Sweden 5-3. It's also Finns over Germany 3-1. The States falling to Switzerland 3-1, and Czechia over Denmark 4-1. Canada back in action tomorrow morning, taking on Italy. In the association, 2 games tonight. Cavs Pistons from Cleveland tip off 5 o'clock. Cavaliers leading that series 3-2. Then at 7:30, the Spurs chance to wrap up their series with the Timberwolves in Minnesota. Major League Baseball, Jays and Tigers from Detroit. First pitch 4:40. We'll join that game in progress here on Sports 1440 on the AM feed. At the PGA Championship, round 2 action, Maverick McNeely atop the leaderboard. He is currently 5 under par. Al Smalley 4 under. As for the Canadians, looks like all will be playing on the weekend with a projected cut at +4. Nick Taylor, Corey Connors 1 over par. Taylor Benches 3 over. And in the WHL, Game 5, PA Everett at 7:30. Silvertip lead that series 3-1. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Craig Button from the NHL on TSN and ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. Go Auto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world, live in Vancouver, with tickets, flights, and a hotel stay for 2. To enter the contest, just text GAME to 780-777-7777. That's GAME to 780 all 7s. Go Auto, get in the game.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Everything is going to be okay. Any business, regardless of size, can stumble occasionally. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. If your business is facing financial challenges, our team of chartered insolvency and restructuring professionals have corporate debt recovery solutions that work. Schedule your free Faber focus session at faber.ca today. Chances of a positive outcome increase if you engage Faber sooner rather than later.
I'm getting expressions and images to frame my hockey card collection in the man cave.
Perfect. I'll come with you and bring our wedding photos.
For sports memorabilia and family treasures, think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
Summer, it's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the sweat box.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Lock in pre-season pricing today.
Visit ProSolutionsInc.ca
Drew,
to
how are
your service today.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety.
I think one of the more
across
underrated
We
overhead
reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve
347.
real problems for businesses while creating real impact. Because our team
The Con
is built
Man
on second
and a
chances.
sports
They show up every day ready to
1440
prove it.
update
Visit
brought-
HireGoods.ca or
update
call and
brought-
mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
To the person who spends more time prepping than grilling. Hi, your Safeway PA announcer here. Our medium ground chuck burgers come in plain, cheddar, bacon, and our newest seasoning, all dressed. All you need to prepare is the grill, because your job is fire and our job is flavor. And right now, they're only $8.99 a pound. For this and more great summer deals, check our flyer at safeway.ca. Sale ends May 20th. Variety may vary by store.
Everybody loves a beautiful day in Edmonton. Hey, it's Jamie, and Green Drop Lawn Care is giving you one more reason to love the nice weather. Next nice day service. People always ask, how soon can Green Drop get here? Well, when you sign up with Next Nice Day service, we'll be there by tomorrow. Assuming Mother Nature cooperates, we'll be fertilizing and treating your weeds by the very next day. We'll even include Drought Fighter at no additional cost. Just another reason we have been Canada's lawn expert since 1979. Easy online signups only at greendrop.com.
Your protein drink should work as hard as you do. That's why Booster Juice is hitting the gym harder than ever, brother. Meet your new gym buddies, the Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers. 2 new ripped and refreshing menu options that bench some serious protein. Perfect for pre or post workout. Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers taste like motivation. So what are you waiting for? Let's go!
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday. Maybe you got off early or you're just counting down the minutes. 53 till 5 o'clock. All right, it's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where tonight, your chance, Lotto Max, $20 million and 20 $100,000 prizes. Hey, maybe you win, you can give it to Torch. Still break even. You never know. Good luck. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. And while you're there, check out the Jason Gregor Show odds boost specials. On a little bit of a run this week. So we got a little Jays action for you tonight, some Pistons and Spurs, and a little Yankees. And then we, of course, have it set up for the only Saturday night game of the weekend in the NHL. So you like some b-ball or baseball or hockey, got a few options for you. PlayAlberta.ca.
How do you think a GoFundMe for Tortorella's fine would do? Was he the kind of coach that has a lot of goodwill with fans to say, that poor guy?
Maybe some Vegas fans, but if I was a fan, I'm like, dude, I'm not GoFunding a guy who's a millionaire, right? Like, I've always find that a little odd, right? Like, I think GoFundMe should be for the people who really can't afford it.
And not specifically Coach Tortorella, who is notorious for acting up. Remember when Mac T pulled Harvey the Hound's tongue out and they raised money through the radio station for him?
Yeah, but then they couldn't take it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. No, you're not allowed. So they wouldn't take it.
Well, it's given to charity then. It's still a good story.
Yeah, it's still a good story, yeah. That was a classic from Mac T. The old tongue pull.
Harvey had it coming.
It was he's a little mouthy. I will say, though, I will tip my hat to the Vegas Golden Knights social media team. I don't know if you ever follow them on social media, but they're pretty funny. So they put out this tweet. The Golden Knights are aware of today's announcement from the NHL regarding the post-game media availability following Game 6 in Anaheim. The organization will have no further comment. I just found it funny because I know they're doing that. They didn't talk yesterday. No further comment. Like, at least you have a little sense of humor with it. I think it's pretty funny. Cheeky, but funny. It did make me laugh for sure. Hey, trust me. Tortorella can handle the fine. But the draft pick is like, that's no joke. They lost the second round draft pick. Now, I guess there's a chance the NHL could give it back to him. It's happened before, but you never know. So let's get to some stats of the day brought to you by All Star Construction. Founded in 2009, they've grown into the largest contractor in their space in land development, power and gas installation, and they shape and build Edmonton communities. That is All Star Construction. So let's start with golf, because I don't know if a lot of people thought that the PGA Championship guys would be struggling this much. But yesterday, there was 156 golfers on the course. Only 32 of them were under par in round one. Like that's and none of them were like it was -3 was the best. Like it's, obviously you used to golf a ton, Wanye, but that's a pretty tough course for the best guys in the world where only 32 of them are under par.
How was the weather?
It wasn't bad. Yeah, like look at it today. It's like, it's not, guys are wearing sweaters, so it's not balmy by any stretch of the imagination. It's a little bit windy, but nothing crazy. It wasn't like the winds were gusting like they were here yesterday. Nothing like that. So I just found it kind of interesting to, you don't see that, very often to see that much kind of, domination overall. Also, last night, Brett Howden scored his third shorthanded goal of the playoffs, which puts him into a tie all time in NHL history for most shorthanded goals in one playoff year. He ties the likes of Bill Barber, Lauren Henning, Wayne Presley, Tobias Reeder with the Calgary Flames, Derek Sanderson, as well as 2 Oilers. Any idea which 2 Oilers had 3 shorthanded goals in one playoff year? Both have scored some pretty important goals in Oilers playoff history.
Pisani?
Incorrect. Cons, you got a guess?
I was going to say Pisani when you said Key, and then I thought Pekka, but that was only one playoff run.
I would have actually bet money Pisani was there.
Yeah.
I don't even bet.
So I'll give a guy's hint. One of these players scored a massive goal in overtime in game 2 back in the 80s. A very memorable goal that was followed by quite the celebration from the coach. Wayne Gretzky, shorthanded, 1988, down the wing, boom, over the shoulder of Vern. That's one. Now, the other guy's goal wasn't shorthanded, but for a generation of Oiler fans, kind of a new generation of Oiler fans, this guy became a hero for many.
Marchand?
Yes.
Oh,
Todd Marchand.
Marchand.
He had 3 shorties in 1997. And so now Brett Howden becomes the 8th player with 3 shorthanded goals in 1 playoff year.
These kids today don't remember Todd Marchand. They don't remember how fast Todd Marchand was.
Come on.
Todd Marchand had wheels.
Oh, dude. Well, and I think, and Oiler fans will remember that, right? For a few things. You remember the lead up to it. Joe Nieuwendyk getting absolutely robbed by Curtis Joseph. People were like, oh, my God. And then Grant Ledyard stumbling, Todd Marchand breaking down the right side, coming across and shooting it far post and in. And like, Todd, I don't know if Todd, we'd have to go back. Like, I'd wonder if Todd Marchand had scored a breakaway goal that year. Because he had a lot of them, because you're right, he was fast. But I'm not, if he had, he might have been one. Like, that guy was not a great guy in the breakaway. But he scored one of the biggest goals. Because you got to remember, the Oilers were a huge underdog in that series. Not many people were giving him a chance. That was in the time where you had some teams, Dallas was one of them, with big payrolls. The Oilers didn't have any. And for Todd Marchand to score that one, and you remember the celebration along the boards, Oilers were going crazy. But I also remember that Ron Lowe was looking at Curtis Joseph, and Ron Lowe, he's been on our show. He's a beauty of a guy. Like, he wears his emotions on his sleeve, and everybody remembers him walking on the ice. And he's like, Kojo, nice bleeping save, right? Like, big grin. Former goalie, super excited because, hey, the Marchand goal can't happen if Joseph doesn't make that save. And like, when you think about 2 big moments in one game in Oilers playoff history, it's hard to think of 2 more monumental moments that happened in the same game. There might be one. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but that one's like from a great, literally game-saving save to a game-winning goal in a very brief period of time.
Those are the games that cemented my generation as Oilers fans. Like, you couldn't have a heart beating in your chest if you watched those series and didn't come away a huge Oilers fan.
And how about this for Montreal last night? The Canadiens come from behind. They beat the Sabres. They win 6-3. Now they have an opportunity to end the series tomorrow night. The Montreal Canadiens. This is their 30th comeback win of the season. 30th. And that is one shy of their franchise record. And they've done it twice. 1976, 1993. Both years, they won the Stanley Cup. Canadian fans, you're telling me there's a chance? Maybe there's a chance. Also, he is one of the best pitchers in baseball. And, it's funny. His opening day start is going to skew his whole ERA. Is ridiculous. But I don't know if you watched it or not, but he allowed 5 runs on 2/3 of an inning on opening day. Since then, he's allowed 6 runs in 8 starts. His ERA is now under 2. But this is maybe the best stat. He has had 40 strikeouts since the last time he walked a batter. Like, anybody, are you kidding me? That is ridiculous. His whip now, walks, hits for a burning pitch is a 0.64. Like, this guy is ridiculously good. Honestly, if you were somebody who plans like trips to go see people, if you're a Jays fan, I want to go when Pittsburgh's going. I don't even know if they're going, and maybe you'd look at the rotation. because my God, or maybe just go to Pittsburgh because it is one of the most beautiful baseball stadiums I've ever been in. It's awesome.
Really?
Oh, yeah. No, it is one of the best. I've been to 13, 14 major. I know. Pittsburgh is my favorite.
How?
It's right on the water. Well, they rebuilt the stadium. It's on the water. And like, no offense, the Gretzky statue is like the Peter Dinklage of statues compared to what they have in Pittsburgh. Like, they've got statues, Roberto Clemente, their statues are outside. I'm standing. And so they have the baseball guy stand. I got a picture. Maybe I'll put it up on socials. But I took a picture of me at their statues for their players. Like the Gretzky one, you know what? It's elevated. But if you get up on the riser and you stand side by side to it, it's almost the same height. No. You stand up there. You're not even halfway. Like they're like 20 feet plus. Like they're legit. They are phenomenal. But the whole stadium, you go to Pittsburgh for a baseball game. Now, I haven't been to every stadium. I haven't been to Yankee Stadium yet, the new one. I haven't been to Boston, obviously iconic. I've been to Wrigley Field. I loved Wrigley Field. But just from scenery and everything else, Pittsburgh was beautiful. I really enjoyed it there. So, but Skeens right now is unreal. So, also, did you know that Adam Scott just made his 99th consecutive major start? Only one golfer has more. Now, think about this, though. So, consecutive majors, there's only 4 a year. So, he's coming up on 25 years. He's not even, he's just over 2/3 of the way to the record, which, of course, set by Jack Nicklaus. 146 consecutive majors for Jack Nicklaus. Think about it. That's 4 a year. That's 36. Quick math in my head. That's 36 seasons and 2. That's crazy, man. That is unreal. So there's some stats of the day brought to you by All Star Construction. Longevity. That's why I say Tiger Woods, 10 years. You can argue maybe the best 10 years, best golfer all time. I still say is Jack Nicklaus. For longevity, you look at not only how many majors he won, look at how many second and third place finishes he has at majors. Sorry, he was in there. Like, you're right there all the time. He's unreal. Quick break. We'll come back. Craig Button will join us on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
This is you.
Hi.
And your cornhole team needs money.
Yeah, we do need money.
Plus, you've tried every fundraiser under the sun.
No kidding, and no one's buying my Cuban salted chocolate.
Scrap the chocolate and fundraise for your team, club, or charity at On the Rocks. Here's the deal. We'll create custom tickets for your event, which includes no cover, no line, and beverage before 10 p.m. Then you sell your tickets and keep all the profits.
That sounds easy.
It is. Fundraisers at On the Rocks. Book, party, cash. OnTheRocksYEG.com.
It's the final weekend of the Brick's famous tent sale. Take up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and in-store. Overstock, scratch, and dent, and unadvertised in-store specials in every department. Plus, buy more, save more. Up to $1,000 off select major appliances. And score a bonus Bluetooth party speaker with a qualifying purchase. You could get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and a dining set, all for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's tent sale. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
No fluff, no fillers, just pure entertainment. Sports 1440 brings the heat with bold opinions, big personalities, and Edmonton's fiercest fans. This is your turf. This is Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Are you looking for safe and reliable transportation solutions for your wedding, corporate retreat, or golf trip? Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer 3 different sizes of units to cater to your needs, and we provide first-class service at affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
There's still time to book your tournament at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
As one of Alberta's top tourney courses, the Ranch makes hosting fun and easy for any group or business. No matter how unique or unusual, they'll accommodate your vision for an event no one will soon forget.
Start planning your tournament today at their beautifully landscaped course on the outskirts of West Edmonton. On-site event coordinators are here to help, but hurry, availability is limited and booking fast.
Visit theranchgolf.com.
The funny thing about hitting the road to leave it all behind is you don't really want to leave it all behind. So Sherwood Honda has the SUV with plenty of room for all you want with you. Think Honda CR-V, the Honda Pilot, or maybe even a Ridgeline truck. With this kind of lineup, you can go where you want and bring all you want with you. You sure would make it easy to leave your cares behind by starting at Sherwood Honda.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned. Over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by UL. Helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at UL.ca. In person or at one of their Edmonton area locations, UL.ca, your partners in power.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
A little extra brass bonanza for you on a positive Friday. And tell you one guy who's having a positive Friday. Had to look up his name, thought it was Peter for a second, but it's not. But Mr. McNeely, Maverick, he is now the sole leader at 5 under par. Not bad. See what he is. See if he can finish it, man. See if he can finish. I'll be honest though, Maverick McNeely is not a name I'm familiar with on the PGA Tour. So, but right now, he's doing pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. Let's get to the oil report brought to you by GoAuto.ca. Not only do they have 15,000 vehicles for you to shop around and choose from at GoAuto.ca, they also have given back $27 million, actually 27.3 to be exact, $1 million to local charities or helping communities where they work. That is GoAuto.ca. As we are joined by former NHL GM and scout, Stanley Cup winner, ace analyst and scout for TSN, our regular Friday guest on the show, Craig Button joins us. Butts, how you doing, my man?
I am doing really well. You going to get snow up there today?
None yet, but it's in the forecast, so we'll see. You know, it's a May long weekend, Craig. You got to toughen up, I guess. That's it's just a little test of our character, as my dad would say, which is usually nothing you love as a kid, but it's always funny. It's always funny.
Yeah. and our parents tell us it'll help us later on in life.
Oh, yeah.
Here later on in life, waiting. How does it help us exactly? How it doesn't help us.
Well, you know how it does help you? Because I do admit that I now use it on my son sometimes, and God, it makes me laugh. So
all the things we said we wouldn't be as parents, but just like our parents.
So good. Some of them are so classic. And he just rolls his eyes. I'm like, this is the best. Craig, where did you come out on the Knobloch Oilers saga here? How it unfolded this week?
Well, I mean, how it unfolded. I mean, the bottom line is I'll, take Stan at his word. He wished it would have been done differently. I mean, it's a poor look. It's a poor way that it unfolded, and you make sure. I mean, if Stan had a history of doing this, I would say, geez, you know what? Not surprised, but it unfolded that way. Now, the second part of this is that Chris. It feels to me like Chris was somebody that was given up as collateral, and I don't think. I mean, yeah, could coaching be better at certain points? I think the Edmonton Oilers have a player personnel issue, and I think since the end of the 2024 playoff season, Game 7 loss, there's been too many moves that have made this team average, Connor McDavid's words, and allowed it to go backwards, Leon Draisaitl's words.
Yeah. So where do they go from here? I know that they've asked for permission from Vegas, and if you read the fine print in the not suspension, but the forfeit of the draft pick and the $100,000 fine for John Tortorella, when I read the release from the NHL, I was like, something tells me that the Oilers and the Kings and the Maple Leafs are going to have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Cassidy sooner than later. Here, there's Laviolette. There's Carl in Colorado, although I know he seems pretty happy there. There's obviously Craig Berube. Any other coaches' names out there that you feel as an organization you should at least interview them because it could be worth your time?
Who'd you say is in Colorado?
David Carl at the University of Colorado.
Oh, sorry, University of Denver. Sorry, that's what threw me.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, Denver University. Yeah, that's what threw me. And sorry, it's okay. We got that clarified. Yeah, I think David Carl's a great coach. I think that the Edmonton job would be one that what the Oilers' expectations are, and where David finds himself as a young coach and a darn good one, stepping into the NHL like that. I think that's a difficult one. Would I want to talk to David? Sure, I'd love to talk to David, but I don't think that that's the guy for the Oilers right now. Personally, I think you have to look at okay, what's our team and what type of coach can help our team be the best we can be. So and again, there's coaches that work really well in certain areas, and I'm going to bring up Peter Laviolette. Peter Laviolette's a good coach, but when he doesn't have the personnel, you get a bad defensive team, just like the New York Rangers were last year. They were not good defensively. They were terrible. If it wasn't for, I'm not talking about this past year, I'm talking about the year before. So what are one of the biggest issues for the Edmonton Oilers? Defensive play. Do they have the personnel? If you think you have the personnel and you want to play a game that's up-tempo and you're more offensive, Peter Laviolette would be a great coach. I don't think they have the personnel to play that way. So now what does it take to be a really good defensive team? Bruce Cassidy is a real good coach. He's proven it in Boston. He's proven it in Vegas. And you're trying to get your team to be a little bit more committed defensively. Okay, that's great. I think that Bruce can do the job. Why did Bruce lose his job? It wasn't because of his coaching. It was because the goaltending was terrible. So what are the elements in Edmonton, as I go through some of the issues that they have, that are going to allow Bruce Cassidy to get the best out of the team, or Peter Laviolette? Because until the player personnel improves, I don't think it matters who the coach is, Jason.
Well, I'll say I think at times coaching, in the NHL, there's the trend outside of a few organizations that, hey, you fire the coach and everything will get better. And it's interesting in Edmonton, it's worked. Right, early on, you get good results. Yeah, Dave Tippett came in his first year. The Oilers started 5-0. They finished 9th after being missing the playoffs 2 years in a row. Then he gets let go. Less than about a year and a half later. The team is 2 games over 500, 23-21. Jay Woodcroft comes in and they have the second best record in the NHL the rest of the way. Didn't change anything. I think at times there's a group of players who could play a little bit more consistent. I still think Edmonton has a pretty good group because you have McDavid, you have Draisaitl, you got Bouchard, you got Hyman. I watched a lot of games where I saw a lot of players with some giveaways that no coach and no system is ever teaching, ever. And they even admitted it that, you know what, maybe we got to take the regular season a little bit more serious. I think at times they thought they could just flip a switch when they got to the playoffs. And I'll admit, I probably thought they could too, but they didn't. So I do agree management has to be better. I thought Knobloch made some coaching errors this year, like the team did, and could have had I would have liked to see him have a chance to bounce back because he did coach the team to 2 Stanley Cup finals. But like I look at it this way, Craig, honestly, I don't care who the coach is. It could be Connor Halley. The Oilers are going to start well next year because I think they have a good enough team, not a great team, but a good enough team. They're going to be rested. They're going to be motivated to impress their new coach, whoever it is. And the players are like, oh my God, we kind of sucked the last few years out of the gate, so let's be better. Now, does it last? That's going to be the question for me.
I mean, everything you said is fair, okay? But all you did was name 4 players.
Oh, I like Pod. Yeah, I like Podkolzin, and I like Savoy. There's other guys.
Well, that's good. You got named 6.
Yeah,
I like winning in this league. They don't have enough depth. Like here's like, and again, I'm not sitting here like all your points are valid, and certainly points I don't dispute. Okay, there's a lot of hope there. There's a lot of hope. A lot of hope. What's realistic? That's what you got to get. Like, Matthias Ekholm, who's been great, a little bit older, right? Yeah. The blue line, like your head, Connor Murphy. Like I love.
You got to get
Connor Murphy.
You got to get Connor Murphy signed. I agree.
Oh, okay. Well, you do. Like again, so there's hope there, right? Again, so we'll wait and see. I'm always wait to be patient. This team ended up in the situation they're in because of poor player personnel decisions.
I don't disagree with that. The Skinner trade was horrific. You don't even have to give up much for goalies usually. And they gave up Skinner, Kulak, and a second for Tristan Jarry. When you compare it to what teams had to give up to get Blackwood or Wedgwood or other goalies that were recently acquired, that was a gross overpay. There's no doubt. So I look at before free agency because I'm not even sure there's going to be a lot of free agents available. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, good point.
Right. Yeah. I look at Edmonton. So you got to keep the guys like I would re-sign Kapanen. I don't think he's going to cost very much. Tillman, I like him as a player. Connor Murphy, I would sign. Dickinson, I would sign, Craig. But if I'm Jason Dickinson and I look at the free agent, I might be the number 1 center available. I think I owe it to myself if I'm Jason Dickinson to go to market.
I totally agree with you. And see, that's what ends up happening too, is that you get players that are in demand in other places. And that's where free agency, leaves you. I guess what I would call it is you're in a chase. So you want Jason Dickinson. Well, all of a sudden the price might go up. It might go up significantly with respect to what it costs you to get that player. And that's just, there is a price of business. There is a price to give yourself the best chance to put your best roster out there. And with the cap going up, and certainly the Oilers have some cap space, these are ones you're going to have to be able to do. Because, and I'll just say this, because I think it's important to say, if you sit down and say, well, we couldn't really afford Connor Murphy, or we really couldn't afford Jason Dickinson, you're sending a pretty strong message to McDavid and Draisaitl that, but really, okay, what are you doing? Because there's a price there. There's a monetary price, and then there's the bigger price. What messages are you sending?
Yeah, that's valid. What did you make of the NHL coming down with a pretty significant punishment for Vegas's antics last night? Not John Tortorella didn't speak to the media. They didn't open up the room to the media. They get $100,000 fine, and they lose a second-round draft pick in the upcoming NHL draft.
Here's what I say, and I'm very clear on it. It's appropriate. You have media that are paying billions of dollars to cover the NHL. Billions of dollars that have pushed up salaries for the players, that have pushed up salaries for the coaches, that have pushed up salaries for the managers, that have created greater revenue and greater franchise value. The Vegas Golden Knights failed miserably. They deserved everything they got.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Hey, what's your thoughts on Craig Berube as a coach option for him?
I think he was a Stanley Cup winning coach, and then St. Louis loses a whole bunch of defensemen, and again, this is what I go back to. So now he's not a good coach. Well, he's a good coach. I always look at it this way, Jason. Does the coach take the team and get the players to play to their abilities, get the team to max out. And, that's subjective and you have to look at it. But I think he's a good coach. I don't care who you put in Toronto this year. Like, I think they did what the best they could possibly do. They just weren't very good. Can't make a play out of their own zone, can't defend, and because they don't have the players. And, somebody asked me in Toronto yesterday, they said, everybody's going on Bruce Cassidy. And I said, what's the difference between Bruce Cassidy and Craig Berube? And they go, what do you mean? I said, well, I'll tell you what the difference is. Craig Berube beat Bruce Cassidy in the 2019 Stanley Cup final, but somehow Craig Berube's no good, and Bruce Cassidy is the new shiny toy. Bruce Cassidy is a hell of a coach. I think Craig Berube's a good coach. I think it's really, you get bad goaltending in Vegas, well, Bruce Cassidy pays a price. You have a bad team in Toronto, Craig Berube pays a price. It's just what ends up happening.
Mm-hmm.
We see it in all kinds of scenarios where good coaches, and again, you've got a coach. You mentioned it earlier, and there's things you got to try to do. But that's why I say max out your team, give the players the ability to be the best they can be, and then you evaluate. I think that team was poorly constructed in Toronto, and St. Louis lost a lot of good defensemen that made it harder to play a certain way. Did Craig adjust? You can say yes, maybe he didn't enough. Just like we talk about Chris Knobloch, the personnel is not very good, and when you don't have personnel, it's really hard to be a good team, let alone to be a good coach.
What about Knobloch? Obviously Ken Holland, they've worked together before in Edmonton, and there's a new GM and everybody in Toronto. You think Knobloch would land in in LA or Toronto?
Listen, I think Chris is a terrific coach. I really do. And somebody asked me this too about Toronto. If you were Toronto and you were going one way, like you think that this past season was just a one-off and you're going to come back and be more competitive, who would be the coach? And if you were going young, who would be the coach? And I said, well, I have one name. Chris Knobloch would fit for both, I believe. He's worked with young players. He helps young players get better. He understands the young players. So I think he'd be terrific in Toronto, regardless of what path they go on. Your point about what he did in Edmonton with Ken Holland. Ken Holland has a real good familiarity with him. Ken Holland knows what he can do. I think it could be really positive for the LA Kings to have Chris Knobloch.
Yeah. Lastly, Montreal Buffalo tomorrow night in Montreal. The Habs have a chance to punch their ticket to take on a very good Carolina team. What have you made of this series? It's been a wacky series. Home team. There's really no home ice advantage in this series thus far. What do you think Buffalo has to do to force a Game 7?
Well, I think what they have to do is they have to find a way to be a little bit tighter defensively. But Montreal scored 17 goals in games 2, 3, and 5. And game 4, they had lots of chances. And bottom line is, if you're letting a team like that get going, you're going to have problems. Their discipline hasn't been very good, and the power play for Montreal has been really good.
Oh, yeah. Well, both teams' penalty kills are like 72%. It's kind of wild. I'm not sure either team could give Carolina a run.
I agree.
The way they're playing right now. And I'm not sure Vegas can give Colorado a run. Everything's telling me it's going to be Colorado and Carolina in the final.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
And Craig, lastly, we're seeing lots of young guys, across the CHL here in the playoffs. So we get to the finals, and I've been watching young DuPont here in Everett, and I really like Rudolph. He's a really good player. I wonder if at times maybe he's been trying a little bit to do too much in this series. I think PA's tried to goon it up a little bit. It's not really worked on them, but you look at DuPont, and there's rumblings already. He's probably going to go NCAA route next season. But where do you come out on Daxon Rudolph as a first rounder this year?
I think he's a top 5-8 pick. I think he's that good. I'll be honest with you, Jason. I'll share it with you now. I think he's a nudge ahead of Beerhoff.
Oh, in what way? What do you like about him better?
Yeah, I don't think Keaton's elite. I don't think there's any element of Keaton's game that's elite. I think Keaton can play big minutes. I think he can do some things in terms of, contributing some to the odd, move the puck out. I don't see him as a number 1. I see him as a 2 at best, maybe a 3. And I think Daxon Rudolph has more, he's more physical. He's more rugged. I think he's got the more offensive ability than Keaton Beerhoff. And that's my assessment. I'm not saying it's far off. I'm not saying it's a big thing, but in my view, I think Daxon is just a little bit better prospect than Keaton Verhoff. I think he's a more robust. I think he's more physical and more eager to play that way. I mean, Keaton's a big guy and moves and plays the minutes and plays responsibly, but that's what I see. I think Daxon's a really good player.
Yeah, well, he's really impressed me a lot, and
there you go.
Like there's a lot of good D-men at the top of the draft here coming up.
5 that are going to go in the top 8, I think.
Yeah,
8, 9 guys, and that's Keaton Verhoff, that's Daxon Rudolph, Carson Karls, certainly Chase Reed, and then you have Albert Schmitz, the Latvian defenseman, and the other guy, don't rule him out, is Malte Gustafsson, the big 6'4.5" defenseman for Sweden. So you might end up with 6 guys in the top 10.
Yeah, and what's interesting about it is it's all going to depend on what your scouts in that organization, how they view guys. Like I remember when people were like, "What's Detroit doing?" when they went after Mo Sider. They clearly knew what they were doing, right? So
yeah, exactly.
And Toronto, like is McKenna, McKenna, Stenberg. Who do you think is who's Toronto going to take, and maybe who should they take?
Yeah, I don't know if I just go for. If I was in Toronto, I'd be taking Gavin McKenna. That's what I'd be taking. That's where I would be at. Is that? I mean, there's no. When I say there's no clear-cut guy, understand what I mean by that. There's no Connor McDavid. There's no Austin Matthews. There's no Macklin Celebrini. So that's what I mean by no clear-cut guy. It doesn't mean that people don't have an opinion on who the best guy is, but that's where it's at.
Yeah. Awesome, Craig. As always, really appreciate your time, man. Have a great day.
Okay. You too. Thanks, Jason.
There you go. That is Craig Button from TSN. Let's take a quick break. We'll return. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. It feels good to know your fund goes further at home. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
I've got some good news if you've been thinking about a heavy-duty truck. The 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express is now at St. Albert Dodge. You've got 20-inch black aluminum wheels, black Mopar side steps, body color, bumpers and grille, and a Sport Performance hood. Available in all the colors for $68,990. Plus, new this year, Ram's best-in-class 10-year powertrain warranty. Now's the time. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Mr. Rooter gets attacked by a Canada goose.
Oh, look at that. Another on-time arrival. Nothing stops Mr. Rooter from plumbing on schedule. You gotta be kidding me. Hello, Mr. Goose. I'm Mr. Rooter. Okay, this is what you train for. Through rain, sleet, or goose, the pipes get fixed.
For a plumber who does whatever it takes, Mr. Rooter.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Jaffa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Join play-by-play announcer Ben Shulman for the games live on Sports 1440. The Toronto Blue Jays are on Edmonton's home for all things sports. Sports 1440.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the Power Play 24/7 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. Hire Good. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
All the protection you want, none of the weight. Introducing Timberland Pro's Boondock Ultra Light Work Boots. The lightest Boondock yet, with the Timberland durability you expect. Conquer long shifts, move faster, and work safer with all-day comfort in a lightweight package. Find your Boondock Ultralights now at all 3 of our Edmonton job site workwear locations and online at jobsiteworkwear.ca.
Job site workwear, tough gear for tough jobs.
Welcome back to Nissan Head to Head. Today, we've got Nissan Kicks coming in strong as a leader in fuel efficiency for gas-only CUVs. Some of the other guys respond with a wallet-breaking detour to the pumps. Hats off to Nissan's fuel-efficient Japanese engineering.
Right now, finance a Nissan Kicks for 0% for 36 months. Visit nissan.ca for details. Conditions apply.
Portions of this hour brought to you by 01 Athletic Care. Injuries don't wait, and neither should you. 01 Athletic Care offers one-stop access to doctors, x-rays, and casting. It's expert musculoskeletal care covered by Alberta Health right in West Edmonton Mall. Move from injury to recovery. Book now at 01.ca. That's ZERONE.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We roll through. What a busy show, man. It's almost 5 o'clock. I love it. Things are flying by on a Friday afternoon. Friday afternoon of a long weekend. Oh, just something better about it. It hits a little different, doesn't it? When it's a long weekend. And for those who are working this weekend, shout out, because a long weekend for you. So hopefully it goes all right. Goes all right. Today, this is the start of the final weekend of the Bricks famous 10 sale. You can save up to $1,000 off select major appliances. You can take up 70% off clearance items in the tent and in store. They got some overstock, scratch and dent. Check it out. If you're looking for some shopping this weekend, go to thebrickandthebrick.com and you get some big savings.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys, with all the Oilers coaching discussions going on right now, my first question for you. Outside of Glenn Sather, who are your top 3 Oilers coaches of all time?
This took some thought from me, Connor. Thank you for this on a Friday. Coach Ron Lowe is probably my all-time favorite Oilers coach, just because he would get so mad. And I can remember as a kid being infinitely entertained by Ron Lowe. He was all of us in the stands. He was the head of the Oilers fans, I felt. I love Mac T as a coach, and I like Tom McClellan in the modern era.
I would have I thought McTavish was able to get the most out of his team on a pretty good basis. He would be one. I would say Chris Knobloch took his team to 2 Stanley Cup finals in a row, man. Like, come on. It's pretty good. And John Muckler.
All right. Question number 2 for you guys. In a Twitter poll, I believe it was done by NFL Fashion Advice, the Las Vegas Raiders voted the team with the best logo in the NFL. If the NHL were to do the same, who do you think would win, and what would your pick be?
Well, The best logo in the NHL. Who do I think would win? Probably Chicago. I would think maybe, or Pittsburgh. The Penguins logo is actually really good. So, but the one I'd pick, I like the Swords. I'm gonna go with the Sabres.
Thought you might throw a Whalers logo in there.
Well, all time, it's not even a debate, right? Like it's not even a discussion.
I would pick the Oilers. Shocker, Connor. But I think that the Montreal Canadiens have a very nice logo. History of it all. Everyone wondering what the H means. Very exciting.
Question number 3 for you guys. Gregor earlier on in the show talking about some reasons why the Vegas Golden Knights might not be the most beloved franchise right now. And then the NHL hit them with the fines and all that sort of thing. Which sports franchise would you say you dislike the most? And for Wanye, no flames. You got to go elsewhere.
I see what you're doing here, Connor. And the answer is the Flames. I just can't get past the city, the whole history of the team. It's just a disaster.
For me, it's the Patriots. God. Now, they were very good for a long time. Arrogant, lots of other things, but they're very good. So to me, it'd be the Patriots. Houston Astros and their cheating scandal, they're pretty high up there for me too. But I would go with the Patriots. Now, which one probably the most hated? The Patriots, like when you have that much success, there's a lot of haters, right? Like there's no team that's bad that everybody dislikes, right? Like, so yeah, the Patriots would be up there. The Yankees, are right up there too with people that probably don't like it. But I don't mind the Yankees. Like they don't bug me nearly as much as Patriots.
Right now, PGA Championship Day 2, a lot of guys in contention. The leaderboard has changed since I wrote this out. So outside of Smalley and McNeely, you had to pick someone to go on a bit of a run here and win over the weekend. Who do you like? Because there is a lot of names to choose from.
Well, Maverick, wasn't he at like -6 at one point? Now he's by reality's kicked in. He's at -4. Like Scotty Scheffler's 2 strokes off. Like, how do you vote against him? He's the best golfer. So if you had to say, I got to give the odds, who's going to give me the best odds? I'm taking Scheffler.
I had the same answer, which makes it right, Connor.
It's going to happen.
Yep.
Make your bet. Final question for you guys today. On this day in 1927, the Hollywood landmark Roosevelt Hotel opened up. Since then, there's been in movies, been referenced in video games. It's a pretty big landmark in the area. So my question for you today, give me your top 3 favorite hotels from around the world.
Well, I'll hit the 2 easy ones first and say the Banff Springs and the Chateau Lake Louise. But the third one is a deep cut. It's the Point Inn in Calgary.
What?
Back in the day when I would go to the Stampede.
I can't believe you just picked a Calgary hotel.
No, listen though. They would always take my business during the Stampede. I could show up at 3 a.m. on fire and walk up to the front desk and say, hello, I'm here for a conference. And they would just let me have a room. They never said no. Other hotels require reservations during the Stampede. Not the Point. You could show up with 20 of your closest friends and everyone got their own room. Shout out the Point.
Guessing it wasn't the classiest hotel.
I would not sleep in the bed with my clothes off.
Okay. All right.
Affordable.
Yeah. Have you ever stayed at the Free Spirit Spheres in Vancouver? I stayed there once. It's kind of outdoors and they're hanging in trees. It's a very unique thing. I wouldn't recommend it for everybody, but it was kind of unique. So that was unique for me. The Venetian is good, but my favorite hotel, MGM in Vegas. Every time I stay there, I have an unreal time. I love how big it is. You walk around forever. So I like the MGM. And I've never stayed there, but there's a hotel in Turkey that my buddy stayed at and raved about it. And I think it's like the Marmara something. Like it's like the Marmara something. I can't remember the name of it, but it's in Turkey, and they rave about it.
What's so unique?
Well, because it sits on these cliffs and just like it's engineered, like you'd think, how is this thing not falling into the cliffs? So the views are unreal. Yes. And that's what they talked about. It was like maybe the most scenic one they've ever talked about. It's kind of like LaRonde. It spins. Obviously slow, of course. You're not going to get sick.
The Point spun too.
Yeah.
But that was more me.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's because you had to sleep with 1 foot on the ground.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah. I get that. So there you have it. Cons, you got any faves?
Yeah. I mean, like for sentimental reasons, the Westin got married there, so that'd have to be at least honorable mention. In Vegas, we did the Bellagio, which was quite nice.
Alright.
The Disneyland Resort when I was younger, good memories. And out in Halifax, did the Nova Scotian, just on the harbor there. Another great spot.
Ooh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people about Disney World hotels. Texas. I've never been to Disney World, so I can't do it. The Banff Springs is an amazing place, though.
I feel like I'm in a movie when I go there.
It's quite nice. Now you don't like the rooms aren't great, but the hotel is unbelievable. And I remember the first time I went there, and if you want to read up on the history of the hotel, that's what I love about it. It's like you can spend some time, take a cocktail and just walk down the hallways and read like the history of the hotel. I think they've captured it very well. That's what I like about it. I'm like, all right, man, I'm learning a lot about this place. And the lounge they have there is pretty damn good.
Overlooking the lake. That's as nice a view as you'll have anywhere in the world.
Yeah, it is very good. Very good.
Point has views.
Yeah.
The parking lot.
Yeah. I know this is probably going to get a lot of backlash, but I think the JPL might be the most overrated hotel I've ever stayed in.
Just because it's so old?
When I'd never been there and I go there and I'm just like my bed was awful. Like for the amount that I was paying, I'm like, what is going on here? And I've never been back. Sorry, but JPL, not my.
They're doing a big reno now.
Well, hopefully, yeah, great, because they need to. Maybe they can get some mattresses that aren't all lumpy and sliding off the bed. For goodness sakes, I was just for what you paid. I was like, this is not good. Like, hey, I get hotels are very expensive now, and I understand it, but you're gonna pay that much money. You should at least get a mattress that's comfortable. So I always felt it was overrated. Sorry, JPL. Let's get to the con man. Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Nothing overrated there. The new Autoplex, amazing. Also, 0% financing on heavy-duty trucks. Little windy weekend. Maybe you're looking for a new ride for the summer. Stop in northgategm.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
The NHL announcing today that as a result of flagrant violations of the Stanley Cup playoff media regulations following Game 6 of the second-round series against the Ducks, the Golden Knights will forfeit a second-round pick in the 2026 NHL draft. Also, Golden Knights head coach John Tortorella been fined $100,000. The Men's World Championships earlier today, Canada knocked off Sweden 5-3. Darnell Nurse picking up a couple points in the victory. They're back in action tomorrow morning, taking on Italy. In the association, 2 games, Cavs and Pistons getting going shortly. Cleveland leads that series 3-2. Then at 7:30, you got the Spurs and the Timberwolves from Minnesota. San Antonio can wrap that one up with a win. Major League Baseball, Jays, Tigers scoreless in the bottom of the first. We'll join that game in progress following the Jason Gregor Show. We've also got the Orioles, Nationals, Pirates, Phillies also scoreless. Later on tonight, the Mets and the Yankees. The Cubbies taking on the White Sox. Rockies host the Diamondbacks and the Angels up against the Dodgers. Day 2 at the PGA Championship. Right now, Alex Smalley and Maverick McNeely atop the leaderboard at 4 under par. When it comes to Canadians, you've got Nick Taylor and Corey Connors 1 over. Taylor Penchuk 3 over. The projected cut expected to be 4 over. WHL tonight, Game 5 League Final, PA and Everett at 7:30. Silvertips lead that series 3-1. Coming up in Hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet, Alan Mitchell of the Lowdown Flowtide, and we'll speed things up in the Cantor Racing Report with Colin Livingston. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
What's that? Is that actually spring? Like no snow squalls or bad weather tomorrow? It's actually spring? Well, GS Construction welcomes the warmer weather because that means we can really get to work. Now, it doesn't matter if there was bad weather. This is our time to shine. But we can't do it without good people to do that work. That's why GS Construction is hiring pipe layers, topmen, and heavy equipment operators. If you want to join a team who loves their work, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit japaequipment.com or stop our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com. Our new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
With Play Alberta, go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute
Just something
best,
better
there's
about
only
it.
one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Your weekend hotspot is at On the Rocks.
Party with Edmonton's best bands every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And we got them all.
From the Varkels to Tallboy, Radioactive, Curves, the Brute Squad, Morningwood, Roxilla, Punch Buggy, and more.
Plus, the guy who keeps the party going every weekend. DJ Kenny K on the ones and twos, live.
Get ready to have a good time this weekend.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Jasper Ave and 118th.
It's the final weekend of the Bricks Famous Tent Sale. Take up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and in store. And unadvertised in-store specials in every department. Plus, buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off select major appliances. And score a bonus Bluetooth party speaker with a qualifying purchase. You could get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and a dining set. All of this for less than $1,500. Only at the Bricks Tent Sale. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Are you overwhelmed by debt and getting nonstop calls from creditors? It can feel like there's no escape. Debt doesn't have to be a life sentence. A single call can turn things around. My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO right here in Edmonton. I can help you become debt-free with a solution just for you. Let's put an end to those calls from creditors together. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
The Ford It's a Big Deal event is on now. Get a big deal on a 2026 F-150 STX with Black Appearance Package. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows. Locally manufactured and installed, Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
We continue on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website, where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province. And it's Friday night, Lotto Max, $20 million, and 20 prizes of $100,000. Hey, maybe you can give it to Tortorella as a positive Friday gift. You never know. Get your tickets, PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, Tort's fined $100,000 for his antics last night, not doing his required media requests after the game. And the Golden Knights organization will be forfeiting their second-round draft pick in the upcoming draft. Now, unless the NHL changes their mind, which they've done before. Now, shorter turnaround between now and the draft, so we'll see if it works or not, and if it actually holds up. We'll see. 833-401-1440. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Also, it's a final hour. It's Positive Friday. Anybody out there, where is a good batting cage in Edmonton? I'm into the cage. We're planning to take my son who wants to hit the cages this weekend. It's boys' weekend. His mom's out of town, so we're going to have a lot of fun. Best cages, batting cages.
I thought it was White Mud Drive Amusement Park. It was brought to my attention that was knocked down ages ago.
Yeah. I do know that one's no longer there. It was a good one. We went to that one many times. So anybody out there, send in a text. Good batting cages to go swing at. As we get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction, underground infrastructure specialists, and they are hiring operators, pipe layers, top men, and other positions available. Go to gsconstruction.ca. Look up careers as Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins the spec. You know any good batting cages?
Yeah, you're right. You got your son all alone the weekend. You're taking him swinging. That's a hell of a job of parenting right there.
Yeah, we'll be swinging golf clubs. We'll be swinging bats. We got some bike rides planned. It's going to be unreal. So
I do not know of any. Sorry, I can't help. I know that at the St. Albert Diamonds, Samba has a killer set of cages in there, but that's for them, not for
I don't
public.
think the average schmuck like me can just get in there.
Yeah,
so.
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Some
I
tales
don't
really busy.
listen. Your listeners will pick you up for sure. I'm sure they'll catch you up on that.
Yeah. Well, people out there, let me know. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Spec, what did you make of Vegas? Are you surprised they came down with the hammer that hard?
Yeah, very much so. This is it sounds or smells like a sort of a, we've had enough of all of your BS, frankly. Vegas kind of writes their own rules and they push the rules. And, part of this is we're sour that you suspended McNabb, so screw you. Part of this is I'm Torts and I'm special. Every other coach across the league fulfills their media mandate in the playoffs. Everyone knows what it is. They all sign up for it. It's part of the gig, but Torts is special and he doesn't do his because, like I say, he's some special guy. I think they're fed up with Torts, and I think they're fed up with a little bit with this permission thing. Every other team in the league gives permission for a fired coach, but somehow Vegas is special. And I think Bill Daly's telling us here, you know what, boys, you're not special. We got rules. You got to follow them. And a little shout out for the Professional Hockey Writers Association. I know we had a hand in reporting and listing off everything that went wrong last night in Vegas. And I would say we're very appreciative of the league for backing us up.
Yeah, like it is. You know what? You got people, the rights holders, everybody, they pay lots of dollars, right? Send people there. That's their job. Let people do their job. You just won, for goodness sakes. Like, you won the series. You won the game. Like, convincing. It was
if you ask Vegas today, they're going to tell you, here's the issue. We were flying out of Long Beach. There's a curfew and we were in a hurry. But I also know this, Jason, certainly the Edmonton Oilers, they don't fly out after games in the playoffs. And the reason is you never know if you're going to play an extra hour of hockey with overtime in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So you don't want to check out of your hotel and go to the rink like you do in the regular season and then fly after the game, because you might not be able to fly out after the game. So I know that most teams, if not all teams, in the playoffs, they sleep in the city they play and they fly home the next day. Vegas is special. They want a special deal, right? They don't want to stay over. They want to cut through the media responsibilities and go to catch their plane and get home and sleep in their own beds that night. Why do they want that, Jason? Because they think they're special. So You know what? You're not so special. You're just another one of 32 teams. Suck it up. Do what everybody else does.
I did see a report online that the airport they were flying out of does allow flights after 10 p.m. as long as you ask in advance and you have a reason why. And this reporter whose name I was trying to find the tweet again, and he had it that they had that. So that I'm not even sure if that really
that's fair.
Fits the bill anyway. Plus, you can still open your room, Spec, because the guys on the podium are always done after the room anyway. So you didn't save any time by not opening the room to start with. So I think this is a combination of a lot of different things here. It even said it in the release, and I think one of them maybe is Cassidy. I won't be shocked, Spec, when we come back on Tuesday that Bruce Cassidy's been granted permission to talk to Edmonton and LA and Toronto. And I would think that Edmonton is going to have interviews, Craig Berube, Peter Laviolette. I know a lot of people are high on Carl. They're not bringing in a coach who has no NHL experience. They've done that the last two times, and both of those guys had NHL assistant experience. They're not bringing in a coach with any NHL experience. So I think it's those three. Is there any other names? Like Todd Nelson would be one. He does have some NHL experience, being assistant coach for a long time. The guy's 1-1 at 1 at other levels. It still kind of boggles my mind that the guy's never been a head coach in the NHL.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that this is the job for him. Like, here's how I define the job, and I think I'm on an island here, but what the hell? I spend my life out there. The most important part about this job, and I'm going to put it in a nutshell, okay? The guy that takes this job when we're mid-game and Connor McDavid stands up on the bench and looks over his shoulder and says, "Let's go," which to him means I want to play now. Whoever they hire has to be able to send the line he wanted to send over the boards and not Connor McDavid's line. He has to not change his mind under pressure from the greatest player in the game. I'm not saying that happens every night. I'm not saying that it's a major problem, but to me, that's in a nutshell, right? This core group needs to get a coach that stands up to them and directs them and coaches them, not one who listens and hears and, well, let's do it your way. No. Right? There's one constant, Jason, in our city here. They've had a bunch of GMs. They've had even more coaches, but this core group of guys have been here now for 7, 8, 9 years, and they haven't won anything. And their culture is starting to chip away here. So this group's got to figure it out, and they need a coach that they listen to. It can't be a rookie. It can't be a guy that hasn't been here. You got to have a guy that tells them, "Sit down. I'll tell you what line's going over the boards here."
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think that's definitely something that needs to occur. I think the players, and Spec I alluded to, I don't care who the head coach is. I'll be stunned if they don't have a good start to the season based on how this group has responded when they get a new coach. Maybe it's playing guilty. Maybe it's just, we got to be excited, whatever, because whether it was Tippett to Woodcroft to Knobloch, go look at their starts and how good they were. The last two, Knobloch, they were the best team in the league in his 69 games. In Woodcroft's games, they had the second best record. Tippett came in, they started 7-1, got off to a good start, right? They had 14-6, I think it was. So all those guys have had good starts with a new coach, and combine the fact the team's rested. I think the team's a little more serious about the regular season.
A little soul searching this summer.
Yeah, it'll be much better. Is there any other name though other than Berube, Laviolette, Cassidy that you think is an obvious interview for them?
I'm trying to think of guys, and I don't really see a guy out there that, I don't even know where DJ Smith stands in they're
interviewing, so he's not coming back, I don't think.
In LA. So he's a veteran coach, but I don't think he's your guy. So no, I don't really need to go past those guys. I don't need to go past Cassidy. Like, we've watched Cassidy's teams. They play he's a coach that is just fine with creativity. He's not a coach who wants you lining up at center ice and backing in. So that stands. I would say Berube is a guy that, the Leafs also played an up-tempo game. I don't know that they had enough up-tempo players to play it, but I don't mind. I wouldn't mind a Berube, frankly, but I really don't know why we got to look a whole lot past Cassidy. I'm not a huge Laviolette fan, but his record is strong, and he's a veteran guy, and he's been around a long time. I'm not a big fan myself. How about you?
Yeah. Well, Laviolette, hey, he won, of course, way back in 2006, and he's had some good success, but it's been a while. I would probably value Cassidy more over him at this point. Craig Berube is definitely a little bit more of a straight shooter, no question about it. It likes to, he'll play his top guys. Not a problem with playing him, but he'll challenge them. The other coach who that is probably a long shot, a wild card a little bit, but one guy who I've heard from a lot of people they think is a good coach is Steve Sullivan. So that's my long shot wild card name.
Steve Sullivan.
Yes, the former player. One of the greatest NHL incidents ever, right? With the fan on the boards. That's a classic.
Where was he last year?
You know what? I don't even know where he was coaching, to be honest. I just got that text to me earlier today because I mentioned it. A guy just said, "Hey, here's a guy I wouldn't sleep on." He goes, he doesn't think he would get it, but he just thinks he's a guy to consider. And I was like,
I mean, Edmonton's in a pretty. It doesn't. I don't think they need to overthink this. They've just had 2 first-time coaches that frankly had lots of success. Woody had success, and Knobloch had incredible success. So it wasn't like being a first-time coach was a bad thing.
Yeah.
But they've done that. They've, for whatever reason, have decided to fire both guys after short periods of time. So to me, there's absolutely no chance you go back to another first-time guy. Like, if you wanted a young coach, if you wanted a coach with only a few years experience, why'd you fire Knobloch? So there's there's no point in overthinking this. Cassidy's out there. He wants to be here. You want him. He's taken a veteran team to a Stanley Cup in Vegas. He was in Boston for a long time and had very competitive teams there and was a really good coach and well-respected. I don't know why we're overthinking this. Like, Jay, do you want to interview some guys and get some ideas? I guess so. I don't need a lot of ideas here, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know what the Oilers are. I don't need a bunch of ideas on how they're going to be better. I don't need a 20-minute debate with some coach I'm not going to hire over whether we should play Draisaitl and McDavid together or not. Who cares? You know, I don't see why this has to be. This isn't a process where I've got a young team like San Jose and I'm hiring a guy that's going to mold my group for the next 6 years. We're not doing that. You got 2 years left in the McDavid window here. I need a guy that knows what he's doing right this second. Walk in the door. Let's get the job done.
I like it, Spec. Like it a lot. Is it when I look at Buffalo and Montreal, give me your reasons why you think we see 7 or why the Habs are going to send home the faithful in a frenzy.
Oh, geez. What a fun series. I'm loving that series, man. I'm actually jonesing a little bit tonight. There's no hockey on tonight. What the heck's going on here?
Well, no. You can watch the WHL Game 5, Everett and PA, the final.
Oh, is it on tonight? On TSN. Okay, for sure. I will put that on.
Yes.
Montreal, Buffalo. I mean, I guess I'd say this to you. Buffalo, I have a lot of respect for what they've done this year. And now, after the whole thing, after, you know, they were staring the 15th straight playoff miss right in the face in what was it? Let's say January or December, right? They were looking at it and going, oh man, are we this bad again? We just fired our GM. And here they are, like they put their season together. They won that division, correct? And here we are. We're down to the last game. Like I just feel like Buffalo, you know, they got a ton of ammunition, man. That game in Montreal, like on one side, you got the Bell Center crowd with a chance to clinch this series and they go to the Eastern final. And on the other side, you got this game Buffalo team that's like, we're not going to quit. We're not going to die. I mean, it's the immovable force and the whatever, right? I can't wait for it, man. I can't tell you who's going to win, but it's 2 highly motivated teams tomorrow night in Montreal, man. That's going to be a killer game.
Should be fun. Spec, enjoy mowing the lawn this weekend. Have a good
I will, and you enjoy with Tracy out of town. You enjoy out there swinging around town, buddy.
There you go. Yeah, we will be swinging at the driving range and the ball diamonds, you clown. Get out of here. Mark, you're the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. And thank you to all the texters who sent in. There's quite a few cages around, so that's good. I like it. And I'll be sure that I won't be pulling a Brando. There'll be no injuries on the weekend. A good little proper warm up. You know, Brandon Douglas has reached the age of his life where slow pitch injuries. He had the slow pitch injury with no one around. That's a tough injury, Connor Halley. Tough injury.
Hit me with
Non-contact, always the worst.
Hit me with some of these batting cages. What do we got?
Well, they've got, they're saying there's the one on 156th Street. There's one off of Calgary Trail. There's one in Leduc. And we got a few others that one's just actually called the batting cages on 53rd Ave and 86th Street. So I'll be deciding which one's best. Maybe I'll be giving them a call, see which place is highly recommended. So Son is playing a ton of blitz balls, so he just wants to get in the cage and hit a real one. So away we go. Should be a lot of fun. When we return, LT next on the Gregor Show, presented by Play Alberta.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
Fuel prices got you down? Subaru's here to pick you up. Subaru's electric and hybrid vehicles will save the day, helping you go further for less. Prefer a gas vehicle? Subaru Crosstrek and Impreza are built to keep costs low without sacrificing capability. Crosstrek was named 2025 Auto Trader Best Subcompact SUV, and Impreza has earned top safety pick recognition for 17 years running. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru. Visit Subaru.ca.
Shake off winter and roll into spring. It's time to turn the season with Jiffy Lube. Until May 31st, visit any participating Jiffy Lube for a Pennzoil full synthetic oil change, and you could win some incredible prizes, like the Grand Prize Spring Kit featuring 2 Yeti mugs, wiper blades with install, gift cards, and more. You could even roll away with one of Jiffy Lube's Keeping You Moving mini prizes. Turn the season with Jiffy Lube and win. Visit jiffylubeservice.ca today.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Spring is here, and your lawn knows it. Get the professional grade cut your home deserves with Toro. The Lawnmower Hospital has the right Toro for the job, from the residential Toro Super Recycler to the high-performance zero-turn tractor for those larger properties. Shop now for exclusive spring discounts or 0% financing for 36 months on select units. Beat the rush and get your Toro in for service today. Visit lawnmowerhosp.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant in the Silent Ice Center, just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails in a stylish, modern atmosphere. Perfect for a casual meal or a special night out. Summit offers a refined experience where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Make Summit Restaurant your destination tonight.
The funny thing about hitting the road to leave it all behind is you don't really want to leave it all behind. So Sherwood Honda has the SUV with plenty of room for all you want with you. Think Honda CR-V, the Honda Pilot, or maybe even a Ridgeline truck. With this kind of lineup, you can go where you want and bring all you want with you. You sure would make it easy to leave your cares behind by starting at Sherwood Honda.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take 1 for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's gonna love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday continues on. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. As always, as it's time to go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. And right now, this weekend, it's Friday. You're looking on your way home. You're like, I just want to relax. Well, you can get the McDouble. Only $5. Sausage McMuffin, only $5. Check it out right now. And they got some new drinks. Ooh, very tasty right now at McDonald's. As a host of The Lowdown, noon to 2 weekdays, Sports 1440, Alan Mitchell joins us. Al, were you a May long weekend camper?
I have done it in the past. And one year I was like 23 or so, and I was sitting in my tent, and it was Friday night at about midnight, and it was pouring. And I thought, I'm not doing this anymore. So I haven't done it. What I do now is I drive to a place, and I have pre-booked a hotel. I will do that on a May long weekend. Like the mountains. I like doing that. I like to hike and stuff in Jasper or Banff or whatever. But the actual going outside, I guess I would do it in an RV if I had one. But I do like to. I guess I'm older now, right? I like the creature comforts.
That is fair. I understand it. Al, rank in order your choices of head coaches for the Oilers, 1, 2, and 3, and why?
Okay, well, for me, number one, and I mean it's no surprise because we've all been talking about it, but it's Cassidy. This is a guy who's, for me, we're looking at a guy who has a great deal of NHL experience. I think that he's a player or a coach who can come in and like pretty much right away with the roster that he has, make this team roar. Now, you and I had talked about the idea of, do they need to replace the coach? But once you are on that timeline, I think he would be the best available because of experience, because of the way he, can coach in the Western Conference. I like him a lot. My second choice would be David Carl. Now, the reason is for the same reason why I thought that, Knobloch and even before him, Jay Woodcroft would be really good coaches and turned out to be, I think, good coaches, is they're innovative. They have great ideas and they don't know what they don't know, but they are unknown to NHL opposition too. He's been highly successful. Sounds like based on what I read today, he's not coming to the NHL right away anyway. But that would be someone on my list. And this is going to make you so mad. You're going to stop the show and go on a rant. My number 3 choice would be Jay freaking Woodcroft.
Oh no.
Why him? I'm just curious.
I think that I liked Woodcroft when he was here. He got out-coached in a big series. He had the team going in a good direction. When he got fired, they just weren't winning games. And I know that sounds contrarian, but it's true. And I think that he's a guy who probably, has educated himself. And sometimes the second time a coach gets a chance is when he takes off. And I think Woodcroft is that guy. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a job here somewhere in the National Hockey League. So I would, I'd put him there. My list also includes Todd Nelson and Craig McTavish. So I don't know how deep you guys want to go with what the hell are you thinking low tide, but there you go.
Craig McTavish. Oh my God. You just love just going back to the past here, eh?
Yeah, well, blast from the past. I'll bring Everly back too. That'll make Wanye happy.
Now we're talking LT. We call that in the dating game slidesy backsies. No slidesy backsies with the coaches, LT. We got to move forward, never backwards.
Okay, well, I think everybody's talking about. This is interesting. This team is going to, there is a scenario here where Stan Bowman fires Knobloch and doesn't get Cassidy, and then I'll be interested in seeing who they go get because there's a lot of retreads out there available every summer in the coaching department. But I do think that this team. They've started to marble in youth. They are pretty obviously strong in some areas, but I think they need some help in others. And I think you've got to hit the ground running with your coach, whoever it is. And this is Stan Bowman's coaching hire, so he's got to nail it. And Cassidy, I think, is the top prospect by some margin. Honestly, I feel like he's the guy. We'll see how it goes, but. I think we've all seen Cassidy do a really good job in the National Hockey League. I don't think he, is going to be here for 10 years or anything, but if he wins them a Stanley Cup, then nobody cares.
LT, we were talking earlier about our top 3 favorite Oilers coaches of all time, and I went on a Ron Lowe rant because he used to mean the world to me as a young Oilers fan, because I felt as mad as I was as an Oilers fan, he was 10 times madder at all points. What do you remember about Ron Lowe?
I remember a great deal of passion, and also, people might forget this, but some of the greatest hockey games post Stanley Cup era were coached by Ron Lowe. He had that team playing great against Dallas and Colorado, wild stuff. The turn of the century, there was I think a contract negotiation, an offer was made, and he turned it down. But I always liked Ron Lowe. I liked him as a player too. He was Washington Capitals expansion goaltender. I think he had a goals against average of like 555 or some blasted thing.
Healthy.
But I thought he was. I liked him as a coach. I mean, I always did. The Oilers have had interesting teams since about maybe 94, 95, somewhere in there. And as a coach, I liked him. I thought he was a really good coach. And you're right, he was flying around behind there. There was a lot going on behind the bench.
Al Mitchell, A.K. Lota, joins us. LT, we see the Vegas Golden Knights have moved on to the next round, into the third round. They're taking on Colorado. They'll obviously be the underdog. That series will start on Wednesday in Colorado. Anaheim just looked like a little bit overwhelmed experience-wise, I thought, in the last few games. Vegas just took control of that series, definitely earned the win. And I think it's fair to say they earned the $100,000 fine for John Tortorella and a second-round draft pick. So do you think they actually forfeit the second-round draft pick, or the NHL change their mind between now and the draft?
Well, I think the NHL will, the NHL is a goofy kind of a league because, I think this is I have no quarrel with the penalty. You have to talk to the media. Everybody knows that. And so the idea of not doing it is just, you're going to get fined. But I think the second round pick fine is you got to come and humbly, talk to Gary and tell him that you're sorry. And I wouldn't put past Gary saying, let all the NHL teams talk to Cassidy and you can have your second round pick back. The NHL is a funny league that way. There's a lot of, I still think the NHL was mad as hell that McDavid lottery happened. And that's why they ended up forfeiting picks for Chiarelli and McClellan. The NHL is a weird league that way. They'll get you one way or the other, coming or going. So I think that the NHL probably felt like Vegas was getting too big for their britches. From what I read, they'd already been warned about this kind of thing. So I think it's a reset, like it's like in high school, Jason, when you were, throwing rocks at teachers, whatever you did, and then you had to go and spend some time at detention. That's what this is.
Delivering apples, Al. That's what I did as a kid. Delivering apples. I'd be surprised. I think Vegas is going to pay the piper here. I also, if you read the press release, I think Vegas is basically saying you're getting this because we're done with you. That there's multiple times in this series where Tortorella hasn't spoke between game days. I think that then they added in that last line. I should read it properly because to me the last line said, quote, this imposition is due to previous warnings issued to the club regarding their compliance with media regulations and other associated policies. Hint, hinge, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Let them talk to LA, Edmonton, and Toronto. And I bet you Bruce Cassidy will have permission to speak to those teams right away, and it will not get them their second round pick back.
Well, I'd be interested in that. That would be the proper and true way to do it. I just think it's like, don't you think as somebody who is passive aggressive, I love that. I love that announcement. That's a little pissy, and I like that. It would be nice if they were all adult enough to do this behind closed doors before it went public, but they're not. And there's a little Stampede Wrestling or WWE or WWF or whatever you want to call it about this grandstanding and my dad's bigger than your dad about this, and that's okay. It's supposed to be sports. It's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to get mad and hit somebody over the head with a funky looking chair they made in the 70s. It's all good.
Al, your thoughts on Carolina, Colorado? Is this a waste of 8 days? Do you think anybody can give either one of those two teams a run here in the conference final?
No, I think it's Carolina, Colorado. I think the big question now is I think traditionally when we go into an East versus West Stanley Cup final, the thought process is if the Eastern team can get out of their series out East without being too injured, they would be the strongest team because the Eastern Conference is perceived as being stronger. I'll be interested in seeing if Colorado can upset that. I don't know that I think they would be favored by quite a bit. They're such a good team. My God, they have such great talent. And the problems that they did have, they have sorted out. Kulak has really helped that team. And they have injuries and that sort of thing, but I think it'd be a great final. And I haven't decided who I think should win, but I suspect Carolina would be favorite. But I don't think these semifinals are going to be, Vegas is kind of tricky, but let me ask you, what kind of goaltending do you think Vegas will get against Colorado?
I don't know. I think okay. I just think Colorado's going to overwhelm them. I just think they're too quick. Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, they don't have an answer for Nathan McKinnon. Like Jack Eichel's played very well. I'm very intrigued to see the Eichel versus McKinnon matchup. That's the one thing that has me quite excited. There's a lot of speed between those two guys, and I'll be curious to see how they match up. But I don't think Vegas has the overall depth or speed to match it. Yeah, that's absolutely true. And how they match up against Eichel, as we know from the 2023 series between Edmonton and Vegas, that will be key too. But I agree with you. I think Colorado, they just have too much. They've got an extra line at least in terms of what can do damage, and they have had flaws in the last year or so or 2 years, but I think they've gotten straightened out, and I think they're probably going to win the Stanley Cup. Al, have yourself a wonderful day. We will chat with you on Tuesday.
All right, boys, be good.
There you go. That's Al Mitchell, a.k.a. Low Tide. When we return, we'll speed things up in the final segment of the show on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice. EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365. UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking. Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service. Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project. Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
A lot of you love hockey season. But when it comes to construction season, you're not as excited unless you work for GS Construction. It's true. As one season is winding down, ours is winding up with all sorts of great projects to make the city we live in better. And our team is hiring. GS Construction is scouting for pipe layers, topmen, and heavy equipment operators. So if you want to score a great job, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
A Saskatchewan boy who grew up loving and playing sports. At least we think he grew up. Listen to Kevin Carius weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's home for sports. Sports 1440.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. It feels good to know your fund goes further at home. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
To the person who spends more time prepping than grilling. Hi, your Safeway PA announcer here. Our medium ground chuck burgers come in plain, cheddar, bacon, and our newest seasoning, all dressed. All you need to prepare is the grill, because your job is fire and our job is flavor. And right now, they're only $8.99 a pound. For this and more great summer deals, check our flyer at safeway.ca. Sale ends May 20th. Variety may vary by store.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
At 43, welcome back. Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram as we wrap up a busy week here on Sports 1440. Hope you have yourselves a wonderful long weekend. It's time to get to the racing report, brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com as Colin Livingston joins us on the road. CL, where are you?
Standing in the middle of the paddock at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, also known as Mosport, in just outside of Toronto.
Okay, so that's the first race of the year?
Yeah, first for NASCAR, first for Radical. Very busy, very, very busy day today so far.
How, so when you look at it now, the NASCAR and Radical Canada, kind of what's different this year?
The series are pretty much the same. I actually found out once I got here that a bunch of our management from NASCAR has actually moved on. I didn't find out until I got here. Radical is something we haven't had a lot of direct contact with, so I can't really compare what we did last year to what we're doing this year. But so far, the changes of the new personnel seem to be going pretty smooth with with NASCAR. Today we only had a testing day. It wasn't even like an official practice. We were able to pretty much do whatever we wanted on track. We didn't have to have there were no NASCAR officials. There were no flag people. It was just basically get out, start running a new tire, see how the tire kind of performs, and then we start playing for keeps starting tomorrow.
Some news on the IndyCar front, the Indy 500. Interesting that Catherine Legge announced she's going to compete in the double this year. Now, did I miss it, Colin? But don't they normally announce this kind of well in advance?
Yeah, this is strange from a couple different perspectives. To do the logistics is absolutely, generally it's a year-long process that you've got to really put a lot of pieces together. You've got to have helicopter transportation, private plane, just to get everything, to have a chance to make it all work. You've got to hope for no rain. You've got to hope for no delays, et cetera, et cetera. So the fact that they're doing this, it got announced this week. They run the 500 and the Coke 600 next weekend. But what makes it kind of also, forget about the fact that Catherine's going to be the first female to attempt it, but she's also a part-time driver in both the series. So anybody who's ever attempted this before was either a full-time NASCAR guy that added the 500 or a full-time IndyCar that added the 600, and it's generally NASCAR guys that come over. So, yeah, this is really unique from a lot of different angles.
Okay, yeah. Do you think she'll do it?
Well, I mean, the only reason that she wouldn't at least be able to make each attempt, start each race, is if there's weather or an accident or something like that. So there's no reason that she won't be able to, compete in both. Pardon me. It's just a matter of where the ultimate challenge, and no one's ever been able to run all 1,100 miles. One race or the other, they weren't able to finish every single lap. So that's kind of the massive benchmark that the drivers are trying to achieve. But if she even gets to move over to Charlotte and to take the race, I mean, the Coke 600 is one of NASCAR's biggest events. It's going to be no small feat. But I mean, like her conditioning and her stamina, that won't be an issue at all. I know that, she does a lot of endurance racing. She's done a lot of 24-hour races, which are crazy, crazy hard on the body. That part won't be an issue. It's just where the how competitive she'll be in both series.
Yeah. Well, because she's a part-time driver. That's kind of rare. I'm not even sure I remember a part-timer doing it. So good luck to her. It'll be definitely something to watch for. What did you make of the recent race involving Alexander Rossi's car that basically stopped on the front stretch?
Yeah, IndyCar definitely, to their credit, they revised their ruling and they revised their procedures after what happened last weekend during the Indy Grand Prix, where Rossi's car had an issue. He pulled over on the front straightaway. But because the pit stop sequence had started, NASCAR let everyone stay out on track, so they had the opportunity at least to pit without losing or gaining a whole bunch of track position. Problem is, you've got a car stopped as other cars are coming by it up to 170 miles an hour. Like, somebody makes a mistake, Rossi's a sitting duck. And then the other part is, when he did his interview, he's like, look, they had an issue with the hybrid unit that IndyCar's mandated since last year. He's like, this is a part nobody asked for. This is a part that doesn't improve the racing, and this is the part that knocked me out of the race. So he was pretty pissed off. But to IndyCar's credit, they've revised the caution procedure so that whenever if there's a vehicle stopped on track, they instantly throw the caution, no matter how that affects anybody on the track.
Yeah, it was interesting. His quote, it's pretty annoying to have failures in the car because of the product that we didn't ask for that doesn't improve the racing.
Yeah, no, he wasn't holding back. But that's as simple as it is. It doesn't improve. It's something that one of the manufacturers insisted that IndyCar do so that they could stay in the series, but it's just added cost. It hasn't changed anything. So hopefully IndyCar can learn from some of the mistakes of Formula One and just go back to a naturally aspirated. They're already on sustainable fuel in IndyCar, so it's not like there's a whole lot of environmental impact. Just go back to racing, guys.
Yeah, for sure. So you look at it, you mentioned today was just a test day. Kind of set us up for what's your expectations for the weekend?
So the first thing we ran was the Radical. This is a brand new team. You can't see what I'm looking at, but we basically have the Garage Mahal. So this is a tent. I think it's about 100 feet long. Maybe it's a little bit longer, 120 feet long. 6-car garage. So 6 different cars are parked side by side, an engineering office, and then there's a hospitality side. The Radical car today was basically the first time that car has ever been on track. A little bit of gremlins in our first practice session, but managed to qualify second for the first race tomorrow. Lots of things to work on that car, but definitely positive, positive way forward with the Radical team. We had 2 sessions with the NASCAR guys today. It went as well as we could have hoped for. First session, the car wasn't great, made some minor changes. By the time we got to the second session, Alex came out and was happy, which is very unique. Alex is usually, not unhappy, but there's always something that we're going to work on. And throughout the second session, he's like, no, boys, car's good. We just need to make this little thing. So happy driver is a great way to end the day.
Awesome. Well, Colin, have fun, man. Enjoy it. Good to see you back on the track. We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you in studio. Thanks, boys.
There you go. That's Colin Livingston joining us live on the track. I love it. Do you see the frustration? Well, you obviously didn't see it, but Vladdy Guerrero, my goodness, this guy is he might have to be Serrano here. He might have to sacrifice a chicken, do something, because it is not going well for the Vladmeister. You can't get a hit. That's good for the Jays. They're leading 2-0 because one guy who just continues to produce for the Jays, Jimenez, a 2-run double that made it to 2-0. But you look at Vladdy, he's 0 for 2, 1 strikeout, and like he just continues. Now he's batting .291. Like he's in a real funk here. This is why, like, I don't know how he's going to get out of it, because it was a 3-0 pitch and he's swinging when a guy can't hit, and then he pops it up on the infield. Like he's not even having good at bats. That's what's wild right now. Cons, so this will be game 22. What was your answer?
You know what? I didn't get a pick, but I said he's going to hit a home run in my mind, I said this Saturday, and then he's going to hit 2 against the Yankees.
So you're saying it ends tomorrow?
Tomorrow he's going.
So that would be 22 games. I don't know, man. Because the question was how many games before is the next home run. So I'm going to say 28.
Oh no.
Got a guess, Wanye?
Well, 25.
25. Yeah, it's not looking great for him right now. He's just he is struggling.
What makes a player of that caliber go this stone cold? Just
confidence, too, man.
Time and
confidence. It's just wild how it
injury.
I wouldn't think. No, he's playing a ton. Like they're not really resting him. So I'm going to say no. Right? No one of that. I can't see it. So, hey, Gregor, I didn't watch the game. Is Bouchard on the power play? Well, yeah, of course. Here's the rest of their defensemen: Matejchuk, Nurse, White Cloud, Morgan Riley, Dylan DeMello, Parker Wotherspoon. Yes, Bouchard will be on the power play. He played 23-21, which was the most minutes of any player except for Dylan DeMello, who played 20-24. He's the only other guy to play 20 minutes. Dylan DeMello played 20-24. So Bouchard played 3 minutes and 17 seconds more than any other Canadian player in the game. So there you go. On behalf of Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Declan Cougar, have yourselves a great weekend, everyone. Please don't drink and drive. Don't be weeding and drive. No inebriation and drive. Get home safe. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the football. Enjoy the basketball. Enjoy the hockey. Enjoy the baseball. Enjoy the outdoors, camping, or maybe the batting cages. Have a good one. Here's Connor Halley and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Fountain Tire, they're here for all your vehicle needs and more with their digital vehicle report. They don't just tell you what your car needs. They will show you fountaintire.com. Good night.
The Sports 1440 update.
Earlier today, the NHL announcing that the Las Vegas Golden Knights will forfeit the 2026 second-round pick for how they handle the media after their win over the Ducks. Also, John Tortorella fined $100,000